Welcome back, everybody, to Brawl Masters here in NA Spring 2021. I am joined here by Teddy. How are you, Teddy?
I am doing great. I'm excited for another qualifier, another chance for some teams to rack some points for the playoffs. You know, playoffs on the line every single time. A lot to win, a lot of money in every single qualifier. There's just so much stuff we are going to go through again. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I feel like this is a whole new day of competitive Brawl Stars and a new chance for so many teams to secure some money and some points.
Yeah, Teddy, I'm super excited too. Of course, we are in the second round of qualifiers here in NA. This is the second of 3 qualifiers that we have for Brawl Masters. That's going to be followed by a last chance qualifier and then the playoffs. And the prizes just keep getting larger as well. The stakes get higher and there's more glory to be won. And besides that, we also have a very unique draft mode for anyone who's just now tuning in for the first time. It is a very unique mode where you get to ban modes and maps as well as the brawlers that you're used to. So it's a real interesting one, Teddy. And I think last week we saw some interesting tactics as far as people banning maps, or just selecting which sets they want to play the maps.
Yeah, for sure. You know, you got to make sure that you have a lot of awareness of what your opponents like to play, what they're going to be a bit more fragile, a bit more weak. And, you know, that could be their like default bans. So you don't end up banning the same stuff as them. And you really try to make advantage as much as possible of the format. I think this format just increases the skill level, especially from a tactical perspective and from a knowledge and versatility perspective, because you know, the more game modes you are comfortable on, the better it's gonna be for you to get some you know, some advantageous matchups and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and as far as the bans, of course, it's ABBA style bans. Take a look now at our overview of Brawl Masters here in Spring 2021. Of course, 3 open qualifiers. We start with a 64-team open qualifier. That means that you can register for it. More info on that later. Though, best of 3 style matches, the draft mode where 2 maps are banned by the enemy team, then 1 by the home team, or rather the other way around, 2 maps banned by the home team, then 1 banned by the enemy. Then enemy gets to select the first map that is going to be played on the first set. Then home team gets to select the next map. Of course, here's our draft mode explained, of course. And then after that, it's the ABBA style bans. Home team bans 1 brawler, then the enemy bans 2 brawlers, then home gets to ban 1 more brawler. That is going to be the flow of our sort of pre-match preparation. And of course, we love to see that play out just as much as we love to see the actual match play out, because that's a really important part of the match.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have as much of a tactical advantage getting into that match. And in Brawl Masters, that process starts as soon as the match is announced, as soon as you get into the draft mode. you need to start, thinking what you're gonna do about the game modes, the maps, and obviously the brawler bans as well. And crazily enough, it is something you need to take into consideration even before that. Teams are gonna do their homework very early on, make sure that they have some notes, that they are aware of what is being played by who on which maps, and you can come with some really elaborate strategies. This is our map pool as well. So today we'll be playing Minecart Madness in Gem Grab, Super Stadium in Brawl Ball, Shooting Star in Bounty, Hot Potato in Heist. Siege is going to be played on some Assembly Required, and then finally Dueling Beetles for Hot Zone. So yeah, only one map per mode every single week, but they can draft them in the way they want. It's a best of 3, so we will always see 3 of the 5. Or at least always 2, right? Because the third one is going to be the decider.
Yeah, third one is going to be the decider. You don't necessarily get to select what the third one's going to be. Of course, home team is going to select what the second set is going to be. So they pretty much do get to decide the order that it's going to be played in. And deciding the order in which the maps are played is actually very, very important, because not only is momentum a just massive factor in Brawl Stars, just coming off of a win in one set, going into the next one does give you an advantage, but also you want to be guaranteed that one of the first 2 sets you play is going to be a win, right? You don't want to get swept. So you do get to select a map that you're good on, right, for that to be played in your first couple of sets, so you don't get swept. So everyone, they do get to start that battle before you actually get into the game. You get to start selecting your maps. You get to, of course, as Teddy said, do your homework, do your research beforehand to make some targeted bans and some targeted selections as far as the maps and the brawlers go.
Yeah, and as you rightly said, this does mean that, some of the maps are going to be slightly advantageous towards some teams because they know them better. It's their pick. So it just makes it even more important to win your own picks and to try to steal away some from your opponents. Because if you kick things off losing your own map, the own game mode you selected, then your series aren't looking all that good, are there? It's going to be some extra momentum on your opponents, and they can abuse of that. And likewise, let's give a quick look at our prize pool. Reddy, why don't you run us through that?
Of course. Well, for our 3 qualifiers, it's going to be $1,000 for first place. Then for second place, $600, and third and fourth place take away $200. And the prizes only get larger in the playoffs. Of course, the points that you earn in the qualifiers get you seeded for the playoffs or just plain invited to the playoffs. Of course, first place is going to be $2,000, second place $1,200, third place $600, and fourth place $200. So you're probably noticing that third and fourth are the same here in the qualifiers. That's because third and fourth, those are, well, the match for third place is not going to be played. It's single elimination. You lose and you are out. Though in the playoffs, it does change up just a little bit. There are going to be third and fourth place matches. So definitely look forward to that. That is actually coming later this month because, of course, we do Brawl Masters once per week, and that is going to be 5 weeks in total. It is a month-long event, and because it's a month-long event, we do stand the chance of seeing some change-ups in the meta, maybe probably not rosters, but definitely change-ups in the meta as far as Brawl Masters go. And that's the thing is that, our meta changes up over the course of the month, and the players who adapt to it the best are really who we consider to be our Brawl Masters, so to speak.
Oh my, what a pun, Reddy said. Thank you for that. But you are right. I think that last season, something we noticed, especially towards the end, is that teams were getting more and more comfortable with the draft mode, that they were starting to really use it at their advantage, and that the teams that were kind of playing in spite of the format would start to get surprised by some others that would just, be a bit more prepared and would be there like, okay, no one wanted to play Hot Zone back then. We are going to be playing Hot Zone on a map that you guys did not prepare, that you guys expected every single one of your opponents to ban and just completely catch you off guard and, surprise you was an amazing performance. So that's the kind of stuff that is just really unique to Brawl Masters, and the tactical advantages that you can get from being well prepared and being creative with your comms, with your strategies, and with your tactics can make a huge difference in this competition.
Yeah, that reminds me actually yesterday in EU, because of course we do have a Brawl Masters both in NA and EU. EU takes place on Thursdays and NA takes place on Fridays. So in EU, we saw one team in particular that was just always making targeted bans towards their enemies. It was big, right? Formerly One Trick Ponies. In every single match, they knew exactly how to break it down, right? They faced up against Clash and they started things off on Shooting Star, right? Because they just wanted the mirror match. They didn't want to have to deal with choosing comps and worry about getting out comped. The Shooting Star meta is pretty locked in. And they actually managed through tactics like that to take down Clash that day. Then in the finals, it was a similar story, though the thing is they were facing up against Tribe, and Tribe, they just decided, you know what, we're banning Max. We're banning the brawler that we use in every single comp. And I think this really caught them off guard, right? But that ended up, I think, helping a Tribe to win the grand finals. And I think it was just, you know, absolutely staggering, but that is what you start to see, right, in Brawl Masters with this amazing format that we have going on. Not only can you exploit it and use it to your advantage, but sometimes you got to go like, okay, you know what, we're gonna play the game. We are gonna ban a brawler that we use in every single comp just because, right? It's Brawl Masters, man. You gotta adapt to the situation, not just to the game mode, but also to your enemy.
Yeah, I love your example of banning a brawler that is expected to be played on your side just to catch your opponents off guard. This is our current leaderboard for the North American competition in 5th to 8th place. All tied up, we have Ace, Club, Monkeys, Off-White, and Dududunga. Then in 4th and 3rd spot, also tied up, is Aqua and STMN Esports. And then finally tied up in 1st and 2nd place, it's going to be Tribe Gaming and IX, both running away with one win, I believe. Is that correct? I'm not so sure, but some solid performances overall. It's really like back and forth. Yeah, okay, Tribe has the advantage. That's what I was thinking as well. 15 points on their side. My bad. But yeah, they won last week. They are going to be the favorites coming into this week as well. You know, Tribe, they have been the Titans for so long. They have been getting challenged a lot more in the last month or so, where we really feel like the competition is just completely upside down in North America. This is going to be our first matchup, though. STMN Esports versus Team Unknown. What do you know about those teams already?
Yeah, well, STMN, of course, hardly need an introduction. We saw them last year. They and Tribe competed tooth and nail to make it to the World Finals. Tribe ended up making it to the World Finals. STMN, of course, you know, this roster, right, involving Bobby Tooney, OG, Alec as now their coach since he has stopped playing as one of the players and has transitioned to being a coach, right? That, you know, this is a very solid team, definitely in like the top 3 teams in NA. Though Team Unknown, right, also a very strong team. They've had some roster changes recently. Some of our really strong players from Team Unknown, we have Barajas, we have Solar, we have, of course, Luffy. I think some of our players have switched in and out here. Solar still, you know, the star of the show. He's still with Team Unknown, though. You see that FA right there. Right, we do have some free agents on that team now. So just some recent developments in the NA sphere. These are some pretty good teams headed up against each other in the round of 16. And this is a little bit surprising because typically you'd see both of these teams face each other sort of in the top 8 here in NA. Though, of course, I guess, early introduction to this match here in the round of 16.
Yeah, interestingly enough, last week, Team Unknown also had a really tough run of 16 match. It was against IX where they got swept. IX that later on proceeded to sweep STMN as well. So on paper, I mean, it could really go either way. But, you know, if you also look at the history, STMN has been a more dominant team in the region overall. Our bans here, Max and Sandy on the side of STMN. We have Bell and Barley for Team Unknown. I like those bans quite a bit. It is going to be leaving stuff like Stew in the mix, yep, which could come in handy, especially for Super Stadium and maybe even Hot Potato as well. Max as a ban, I think, is super strong at the moment because it also kind of nerfs Gene overall too, and any of the other brawlers that like to be really aggressive. Obviously, you're Sandy too, but Sandy is already banned. So I do like that approach quite a bit. Belle is kind of like the go-to ban. I feel like it's going to be very rare to not see her ban whatsoever because she is the strongest ban in the game, and especially with an ABBA ban system, you know what your opponents have banned before, so you can kind of adjust and be there like, do I want to take the risk of not banning it and assuming that our opponents will? You can do it, but not quite as much as in like blind bans where it's just blind, right? Barley, the fourth and final ban, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's a really solid brawler overall. It's good on Super Stadium. It's good on Hot Potato. Just get him out of the way and don't bother about it. It's just super strong. I think it's a really good call from Team Unknown, especially since they are the ones that picked Brawl Ball Super Stadium as well. So they want to give all their chances for that first set because they will need it for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think seeing the Sandy ban as well as the Max ban is an interesting one because Sandy is still playable, right? When Max is out of play, can use it here on Super Stadium, right? It's a very powerful pick, especially here on lane. Though when you've banned Max, you've indirectly banned or Sandy pretty much. You've pretty much nerfed him in that regard because now he no longer gets to benefit from that Max Sandy sort of synergy. And that's a lot of the context where we do see Sandy run. It's still going to be possible. It's not going to be as strong, still strong overall. But I think, kind of an interesting analysis to break down there as we see both of those brawlers banned when we usually see them together. We usually see one less used if the other is banned.
Yeah, I completely agree, to be honest. I feel like I would probably not go for the Sandy ban after Max. I feel like something like Stu might have been a bit stronger, a bit more versatile. But so far, we are going to see double Jessie in the mid, double Nita, and then the Ruffs and the Rosa to make the difference here in those comps. Early on, a fight won by STMN, going to give them a man advantage, the opportunity to push up, get some more control and some better positioning. But they aren't really able to push through just yet. Toonie, nice self-pass, nice super. Wow. That's going to be the walk-in.
Wow, definitely one of those situations where you definitely be equipped with a stun to prevent that from happening, but it's always refreshing to see this classic Rosa strat happening once again. Luffy going to go for this defense. Toonie still alive. The bear smacking away. OG, though, finds this opportunity to put that in the goal. Wow, and STMN bringing home game number 1. And of course, this is the map that Team Unknown chose for the first set. STMN already beating him at their own game. Of course, it's just a sort of a vacuum, right? Just one game, but that one ended so quickly. I think that does send a bit of a message.
Yeah, especially since, it wasn't a super hard counter comp or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just look at one game and you're there like, okay, well, they were running 3 very low HP brawlers and they got pushed by a poker double tank. Like, well, it's normal. The game only lasts for 20 seconds. Here, not quite as much. The Rosa is really strong, like independently with that super, can just kind of walk it in. But at the same time, it was a really strong build-up and team effort from STMN to get into such a dominant position early on both times. So honestly, super convincing so far. I feel like this could be a bit of a trend coming into this match, just because it's STMN and they are one of the dominant teams in this region. Team Unknown, they have shown some pretty good stuff, but I still feel like they are a bit behind and are definitely some sort of an underdog in this match. Here we go with the next one. Same comp coming in for STMN, same comp also for Team Unknown. Interesting decision not to change anything around, since they lost the previous game pretty convincingly.
Yep, and now Toonie getting this kill on the right lane, takes one shot from Luffy, but it doesn't even matter. We all OG with the self pass, the dribble to the backside, and putting in that first goal. I think really one of the game changers in our previous game was actually the Rosa, right? Because there's just nothing to stun her, and she's able to self-pass and get into the goal. But this time, right, we still see the same comp coming out from Team Unknown, and the same comp coming out from STMN. Of course, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. OG going for that positioning on the super pass, but just not necessarily going to go for it. I want to point out we do have Bear with me as a star power, that Bobby, wow, and able to put it in. A great pass to Toonie, and that is going to be set 1 already wrapping up.
Oh my. I mean, you know, I like what you said earlier. If it's not broke, like, don't fix it. But at the same time, Team Unknown's comp seemed pretty broken. So, like, pretty, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not entirely sure why, you know, they decided to stick with the same, because it was so unconvincing in the first game. I mean, you know, sometimes it is a problem of execution rather than the comp itself. That does happen, and you know, you can't just say like, okay, the comp is bad because we lost. That feels like oversimplifying things a bit. But at the same time, it did feel like they were at a disadvantage from the get-go in game 1, and that their comp was limiting them against the Rosa. And game 2, exactly the same answer from STMN, the same result. I feel like we need something to switch up here from Team Unknown. They need to be a bit more on point with those comps, because we're already going to set 2. And I kind of remind you, Super Stadium was the pick from Team Unknown, and it's been as convincing as it gets for their opponents.
Yeah, that is 100% true, and we're going to be moving into Bounty in just a moment here. STMN, this is the set that they wanted to pick for set number 2, so they do have a bit of a home field advantage. So the thing is, though, going into Shooting Star, of course, we know Shooting Star has a pretty locked-in meta, right? It's always going to be these 3 brawlers, pretty much. Of course, we have the mirror match coming in. STMN versus Team Unknown here in set number 2, game number 1 on Shooting Star. And it's already heating up. We see both OG and Barajas now going for this blue star at mid. Of course, that is a bit of a win condition. If you can get that first blue star, then you can afford to play more defensively. And usually it's Tick that goes for that star because he's equipped with Last Hurrah. OG going to find this positioning here. It continues to go forward and dodge some of those mines. We do see OG find this super here, and STMN already just has a little bit of an advantage. We do see Team Unknown, actually they have to back up just a little bit. STMN, they're just barely advancing up just a little bit at a time, even though they don't necessarily have to. Of course, it is important to keep that fight up at mid. A nice super actually coming in from Toonie. He's going to go for Solar, not necessarily going to get that kill on Solar by his own, get some assistance from OG, but a good kill overall. STMN is still in the lead here in a 5-0 game as we head into the last minute.
Yeah, 1 minute left, and things are looking a bit blurry on the side of Team Unknown. They really need this game. They don't want to be down 2 match points in the second set already. OG has a tick head available. Is going to place it. No, never mind. Not just yet. A good shot there onto Toonie. We do have the peep coming in. Is going to get destroyed by OG's tick head. Really solid play there from OG to just completely defuse the situation. Solar is pushing up. He does have that return to sender enabled, but look at the HP on Tubara. He's gonna go down. And yeah, there is a kill for Team Unknown, but I doubt they're gonna find enough stars to pick up the win. And man, STMN looking super convincing. Final chance from Team Unknown are not really gonna find any value over there. And indeed, STMN at match point now.
Wow, it has been a complete clean sweep through and through for STMN. Of course, I thought that was a really nice strategy there from OG to defuse the peep with a super. And I mean, I guess, right, that works, right? But I've seen it before. It just kind of amazes me every single time, because peep is supposed to be this sort of little, like, you know, thing that you just can't get rid of unless it hits any one of your targets or teammates, right? But then OG says, you know what? Okay, we're gonna have a tick super right here, and that's what you're gonna be trying to take out, right? And Solar's like, no, please, just let me hit someone, let me get my free kill with the peep. Though with that, we are heading into this match point here. Team Unknown already gonna find this first star here, and a kill, in fact. STMN now on the back foot. They have to push up into Team Unknown. Also, Barajas getting a kill onto Toonie. Looking pretty solid for Team Unknown so far. This is the start that we actually saw from STMN in our previous game, now sort of changing hands.
Yeah, good kill from OG, though. Is able to close the gap at least a little bit. Luffy is peeking. It's going to take a bit of damage, and a chance for, oh my god, what a shot from Solar. Getting the 2k damage shot onto Bombi. will be slowing things down a bit. But look at that, Barra low HP. Nice snipe from Bobby. 5-5, still the blue star advantage on the side of Team Unknown. They pick up a kill as well as they widen up that lead, but it is so close, only 2 stars. And STMN, they are going to be fighting for some sort of a push here. They have the peep. Can he find a connection? I don't think he's going to be looking for the tick, and it's going to be a waste.
Unfortunate. OG also going down. A Bobby targeted by this tick super. STMN now trailing by 5 stars and the blue star. They gotta come back in the last 20 seconds of the match. 20 seconds, of course, in Bounty is sort of the magic number. This is when you absolutely have to push in. There are not going to be any more pushes after 20 seconds. 10-second mark, and STMN still trailing by several stars. Unknown, they are going to be taking this one home. Despite a lot of damage coming in, STMN bringing back to 10 stars, Team Unknown will be taking this game. Though we will remain on match point, but this is looking pretty clean for Team Unknown. They, historically have had a bad history of just winning a complete streak until the match point and then getting reverse swept. Well, now Team Unknown could be turning that narrative around.
Yeah, that is very much possible, although, you know, we got to keep in mind that STMN still have the match points. They are still only 1 game away from knocking Team Unknown out and moving on to the quarters. So Team Unknown, they still have, you know, a pretty dire situation in front of them. A bit more hope now, as they are also only 1 game away from pushing things to the 3rd and final set. They still need to perform very, very much here if they want to stand a chance. We saw that getting that blue star made a huge difference for them. We'll see if it's going to be the case once more, as both teams are a bit more scared to approach the blue star. OG is going to peek to get it, popping last hurrah to stay alive, and Bobby is going to capitalize on that overextension from Luffy to try to find some shots on OG. Good stuff from STMN.
Yep, good early game lead. Team Unknown, they got a bunch of pickup. Unfortunate Luffy going down with a 2-tap from Bobby. Tuni now looking for this positioning on the right side. Barajas also trying to find positioning. Barajas is in a tough situation where he's forced to play a very aggressive as a brawler that normally plays for control. Of course, Team Unknown, they are trailing by 5 stars. This is exactly the situation that STMN wants to be in. Over here on the right side, Solar just trying to find a target on Tuni. Actually gonna struggle to get some shots off though. Tuni also looking for this positioning. Of course, it's really a game of who gets their super first. Here comes a super though from Tuni, looking to find his target on Solar. The return to Cinder, but the return to Cinder is going to secure that kill. Now a 9-star lead for STMN. Team Unknown, they got 45 seconds to bring back this 11-star game.
Yeah, you love to see the Bobby pump off on that. Piper is getting some good snipes on overall this game, despite a couple of misses here and there. Good shot from Luffy. Can he capitalize on it? Not just yet. Gonna be low HP himself. The ticket tanked by the last hurrah from Bara. A nice kill from Bobby once more. He has low HP, but he is still alive. Tuni coming in to tank some shots and just protect Bobby no matter what. I mean, honestly, we're seeing some pretty solid stuff from STMN.
Yeah, very solid stuff from STMN. Team Unknown, of course, bringing their best, but it just doesn't seem to be enough to compete with some of the best players in NA. That is going to be this match going to STMN. Congratulations to STMN, who's going to be moving on to the quarterfinals, the round of 8, where they will find, well, I guess their next opponent. Definitely going to be a tougher opponent, I think, though I do think they faced a pretty tough opponent here in the round of 16. I think it is a little bit unlucky for Team Unknown to have to go up against STMN this early on in the tournament, but you know what, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. That's how it goes, and STMN will be the one moving on to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, tough matchup for Team Unknown. Facing STMN this early on is definitely not an ideal situation. Arguably, maybe better than, you know, having IX in the same round last week, but still not exactly the luckiest brackets on their end. Are gonna go home and have to, you know, work on some stuff if they want to come back stronger next week. This does mean indeed that SCMN are moving on to the quarterfinals. They will keep competing in this second qualifier. And they were looking pretty sharp today, I have to say. Besides that one game, which even then, like, it wasn't a stomp or anything along those lines. Like, they were in a tough situation and they were pretty close from coming back, just not quite able to make it happen. So yeah, congratulations to SCMN. They'll be moving on to the quarterfinals.
And very soon he will be moving on to our next game in the round of 16. Of course, we got a lot of matches going on, or actually maybe we'll be moving into the quarterfinals, because we do have a lot of matches going on at once leading up to the main event, of course, the semifinals and the grand finals. You're not going to want to miss those. Of course, that is coming up shortly. Though I think, given our sort of state of the NA meta, right, we saw SDMN play right now, but there are a couple of other teams that have really been dominating in A. Take a look at our bracket here for the NA Open Qualifier 2, powered by G Fuel. Of course, we see SCMN advancing to the quarterfinals already. Now, take a look actually at the round of 16, both on the left and the right side of our bracket, and just see if you recognize any of these teams. Top left, of course, Tribe Gaming. Top right, IX Gaming. Some teams that we have been seeing making some big moves here in NA, and historically, they are some very strong teams. Also, we have the Monkeys, IX Academy. We have Aqua. Of course, Aqua, you saw, was, I believe, third place in this BrawlMSTRS tournament by points. Also, we have AEIS Club, Ion Gaming, and Arena Casito on the left side. Some names you probably recognize from last week here in the Open Qualifiers.
Yeah, NA is looking more and more stacked, and the gap between the different top teams is just getting smaller and smaller as the skill ceiling just overall increases in the region. And I think we are to be expecting some super exciting matches for the rest of the day. This is going to be Ace Club versus Ion or ION Gaming. Honestly, I don't know those teams too well. I think I remember watching Ace Club last week. But they didn't go too far either, and Ion, I think, had some decent games as well, but didn't really go all the way. So I'm curious to see how they will be performing against each other today. Do you have some more intel maybe on those teams?
All I can tell you is what we have from last week. I think both of these teams did bring out a pretty strong performance. Of course, they had to make it into the round of 16, and they did it again, though they had some pretty tough opponents and were not necessarily able to make it past the quarterfinals. Though I think this one is a pretty well matched match that we have coming up. So this is going to be an interesting one. Could actually go into our third set. Of course, we didn't see that with SCMN versus Team Unknown, though I think this one is going to go into that third set.
Yeah, I have information actually that Ion went out in a round of 32 last time, whereas Ace did make it to the quarterfinals. So a bit of a more impressive, track record. But you can't really just look at one qualifier and make a whole story out of it, can you? So both teams looking to prove themselves, definitely not happy with their performances so far. And yeah, this month it's going to be their chance to go a bit further, but it starts with a win in this following match.
Yep, exactly. Of course, these teams, right? Baby steps, right? Are they aiming for the grand finals? Of course, right? But just making it to the semifinals is a win in and of itself. Of course, the prizing goes for first through fourth place. Some nice prizes, of course, $200 if you make it to the semifinals. So definitely an incentive to make it past the quarterfinals, though we already have our draft format underway. We have those first bans for the modes trickling in. AIS Club banning Heist and Hot Zone. Ion banning, banning Siege and picking Super Stadium as a first map.
All right, a bit of a similar story than in our previous match, actually. It was also the first map we had. Shooting Star is going to be second one once again. So maybe they took some inspiration from in STMN versus the Unknowns because they're going for some very similar stuff. However, instead of Heist in the final set, here, obviously, since Heist was the first ban, it's going to be Gem Grab on Minecart Madness. Interesting decider map, to be honest, because Minecraft Madness is quite a difficult one as well. We'll have Bell, Stu, and Poco as our band so far, waiting for the fourth entry. That's going to be on the side of Ace. I mean, Stu and Bell, super strong brawlers still by this day. Super good pretty much anywhere as well. You could play them on all three of those maps. So it makes a lot of sense, especially the Bell band. Stu's still really strong too. Poco is also a fairly solid pick. Just, remove any Poco double tanking, any Poco Mortis, all that kind of stuff out of your way. Simplify the game a bit more and just play Brawl Stars, based on skill rather than mind games and all those shenanigans. So I like the way this match is looking so far. We'll have to see what the fourth ban is.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the Stu ban, actually, because it's not terribly surprising, right? Stu is a frustrating brawler to go up against. He's very strong in the current meta, though even in our last match, when Stu was not banned, we didn't see him played even once. And yesterday, for those of you who were not there watching Brawl Masters EU, we saw a match where Stu was not banned, and Stu has only played in one game in that entire match, which occupied all of the games in the match. And it was interesting because the one game that Stu was played was a loss for the team that played Stu.
Yeah, I think that a lot of teams, especially when you have a brawler like that available, they're going to play some other brawlers that can counter it very well and just, disable any opportunities for their opponents to bring it in. It's something I've been seeing quite a bit as well. I feel like Stu is the kind of brawler that is a bit inconsistent as well, because it's going to rely on some highly mechanical performances, and those are not always going to be on point. Sometimes there are going to be some placement mistakes, some just aim mistakes and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it can absolutely pop off and carry a game, single-handedly bring victory. But at the same time, it can also just not be enough, as it is a bit hard to consistently hold on to some position and really have as much control as you would like. So I can see how Stu can go wrong quite quickly.
Yeah, it's like a similar position to Mortis, right? Because he can be pretty powerful, but he does have to get very aggressive sort of plays, and that's the same thing that we see with Stu. He's got to zoom for it. He's got to just make very explosive plays, and he's not that great defensively necessarily, especially if he has to fall back and has low health. Like, okay, well, that's going to happen frequently. He doesn't necessarily have a mechanism of healing himself besides that star power, which, you're only going to get really consistent healing from that if you are hitting a lot of those supers. So, of course, it's an interesting one, right? Maybe Stu just kind of falling out of popularity just a little bit as people are finding ways that they can counter Stu. As I think people also getting used to Stu and learning how to play against him. Perhaps part of the OP-ness of Stu is in fact just the novelty that he had as he was coming into the game for the first time.
I think so too. It's the kind of brawlers that just really shake things up. And now it is a bit more of a point where it's kind of like, either it's gonna carry you or it's gonna break your comp. Ruffs is a bit of an interesting ban as well, especially on those maps. I feel like it plays all right on Super Stadium. On Minecraft Madness, it's not nothing crazy in my opinion. I still feel like it's an all right brawler. But it does feel like maybe AS Club just really want, the Max, Gene, Sandy available, and that's why they decided that, we decide what's the fourth ban. Let's just not remove any of those brawlers so we can have them available for ourselves. Because on paper, AS is going to be a slight favorite, going to the top 8 rather than the top 32, which is where Ion fell last week. They should have this in the pocket, right? They just need to play it safe, play it normal, play their normal gameplay, and not take any risks. And I think that leaving Gene, Max, Sandy is kind of the way to do that. Play comps that are playable literally everywhere. I mean, probably not on Shooting Star, but it's also not really gonna reveal some deep strategies, and I can keep that element of surprise coming into the further stages of the event.
Yeah, AIS, they're going to have that Gene Max Sandy available heading into Super Stadium. Of course, it was not their pick for the first map. Another thing that we can note, though, is that AIS, perhaps they just weren't given the chance to even pick Super Stadium at all. Maybe this is the map where they do want to take this win. It doesn't necessarily mean that just by the enemy picking that map, it does not mean that the other team is going to have a disadvantage on that map, right? This could be the map that AIS was going to pick if it were not picked first, though. Our second set is going to be on Shooting Star. I cannot really say that the Sandy Max Gene being available is going to help them there. Of course, very locked in meta there. I think it's going to be a more of an even playing field between these two teams, right? And the better skilled team is going to be the one that takes back the win on Shooting Star, right? Because the thing is, if it's just a mirror match and you're even mirrored down to the lane matchups, it's just going to become a fight of pure mechanics.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think this is a really great lineup of maps and stuff for the early stages of the qualifier, because you want to keep as little of your, or actually as much as your as possible, your strategies like secret and your comps, and not really show off to the world everything you have ready in the early stages, right? You want to keep that for the juicy matches where you need it. And I think that they can play Gene Max Sandy on most of those maps, except for Shooting Stars, where, as you said, you only have like 3 brawlers that are pretty much always getting played anyway. So they can just really play around that and stay quite mysterious, I would say, compared to some other maps where you have a lot more options regarding the brawlers, a lot more variety, and you are gonna have to show what you like to play over there. So I think we can expect quite a bit of Gene Max Sandy. I don't think I'm spoiling the comps for anyone here. Just super solid overall. I do feel like it's a bit more popular in EU than it is in NA, where we do see some more of the other brawlers. But I'm curious to see what they're going to be picking here.
Yeah, of course, Super Stadium, Shooting Star, we got those down. Though Minecart Madness, right? Of course, still one of those maps where you can see the Gene Max Sandy come out. Though we have seen a little bit of Crow and Piper on this map as well. The question that I have for you, Teddy, is, if you have a Gene Max Sandy versus a Crow and Piper sort of composition, who do you think walks away with the win in that scenario?
Which map are we talking about here?
Oh, Minecart Madness, or set number 3 map.
Okay. I think that what makes something like Gene and Max work really well together is that even if you are getting dominated, even if your opponents have control of the map like the entire time, one pull and you take the gem lead, one pull and you can have a countdown. You know what I mean? So that is where the value really lies, and it's just so scary for your opponents when you have that gene pool available, especially combined with like some max movement speed. They just know you have it, you know what I mean? And then they look at you, they don't want to get anywhere near your range to hit that pull, but we are ready to hop in. And honestly, I am quite surprised with the comps here. The Jackie is going to be played as well. Not a brawler we see all that much. Oh, nice attempt from Pain, but not going to be quite enough. A bit of a chaotic start here all over the place. Darvin's trying to push up. We will see if he gets in range, but so far, yeah, it was quite chaotic to kick things off.
Yeah, what a start there. We have Jackie, of course, Jackie doing Jackie things, just kind of barely inching up and then getting a shot off. RBM and now going aggressive, going for this kill on Darvin's. Of course, the heart here for the counter with the counter crush. Something that we've seen more and more recently, just because counter crush is pretty good. A nice pinch there from Ion, giving no options for Heart to run away. Now Darvin's, though, going for some damage on Misa. Though Heart here having to play defensively, of course, Jackie just such a great brawler here on defense, especially with counter crush. We do see Jackie actually struggling just a little bit face up against Sandy because, of course, outranged here, and Sandy does get pretty nice burst damage and excellent pokes there. RBM getting a nice kill there, getting taken out himself, and this mid fight is looking pretty even if Ion is not able to put this one into the goal. Wow! And what an explosive offense there from Ion to put that first ball in the goal, bringing our score to 0-1.
Yeah, great use of the max movement speed combined with both a dash and that sandstorm. There was a lot of speed coming out of nowhere, and AIS, they were just not ready for it, man. Oh, look at that. RBBM not quite able to get that kill, and now AIS maybe with a bit of a chance to push forward. This is not too bad. The pool coming through as well, getting some nice damage. Only Joa left alive, and AIS, they might be able to capitalize on this one, but the ball is cornered on the other side of the map.
Yep, Darvin's now forced to back up here. Chris the King also looking for this lane to switch up onto the right lane. Joa throwing down a hasty super, but gonna get taken out by Chris the King. Mutually assured destruction, though. Misa getting in a aggressive position here, looking for that pinch on Darvin's. Ion Gaming is going to be keeping control here, and that is going to be this first game going to Ion.
Good stuff from Ion. What a way to kick things off. It is their map pick as well, and they definitely seem prepared for it. I do want to point out, man, the comps were absolutely wild, especially coming from, you know, an EU guy, seeing on the same map, like, you had the Nita, you had the Jessie, you had the
Jackie
Mortis,
with
the Jackie. Like that was a lot of information to process. I think that Max and Sandy were there as well, and they were quite impactful. But yeah, some solid stuff from Ion. I do feel like they were struggling a bit to find as much value as they wanted to off the Mortis. Mortis doesn't necessarily do too well against Jackie. Jackie can be quite a threat, and especially with Counter Crush against tanks, it's an absolute pleasure to be playing that. You're going to be dealing so much damage, deal with them so quickly. It is a gadget that is pretty underrated. I still feel like overall the other one is a bit stronger, just because it's a bit more versatile, and it's going to be very useful just overall, you know, for tanking the ball in and for a long range encounters as well. And when I say long range, obviously Jackie isn't going to be fighting from long range, but sometimes you have quite a long way until your opponent, and they can be shooting at you, and then Counter Crush just doesn't really do anything. So an interesting choice. It seems like it worked out, and honestly, the fact that he was facing Mortis did help for that. But it was still Ion to pick up that first game, and I did feel like the shenanigans and the crazier brawlers were probably the least impactful ones here as well.
Yeah, that is true. I agree on that one. Though I think the Mortis, right, that was a real interesting one to see emerge. We're going to see if it happens again. Yep, Ion bringing out the Mort once again. RBM not switching off of that Mort. Joa switching onto the Barley here. And we do see, of course, Lou coming out in full force. Great pull there. Wow, I was at a loss for words for a moment. What a long pull there. Hart looking for this positioning to put the ball up. Darvin's now probably going to look to put this one in. No, actually, AIS Club now backing up to mid. Darvin's looking for just any sort of allies he can help out with his super here. Got trapped in that corner just a little bit by the Lu super. Joa now looking for the 2v1. Wow, getting taken out. Not quite by the bats, though it did look like the bats took him out. RBM now looking for the positioning on the left side as Ion makes some major advances up towards AIS's goal. Chris now looking for positioning on the right side, and Darvin's looking for his next super to pass off to Hart so that either one of these teams can get their first goal.
Yeah, so far pretty back and forth. Lou super is spot as well. RBM, sorry. But he will get taken out. 2-on-2 situation. Darvin's is low HP. Hart also taking quite a bit of damage. And Ion, they might be able to capitalize on that one. Find some more control and some better positioning. Nice kill on to Hart. The push coming in from Ion. This is looking a whole lot like a goal. Not a lot they can do. Wow. They're able to defend off for now. Oh my, I feel like RBM going in. Oh my god, what a pull as well from Hart. Honestly, what a defense from AIS.
Yeah, that was spectacular. I love to see them picking up the ball and then dropping it by walking across the goal line just to get another hit. That's one that I've never, ever seen, but it does seem like an effective way to get rid of that ball if you don't want to waste one of your shots. Of course, that is one of the most detrimental things about having the ball is it does waste one of your shots. Here comes RBM trying to get this positioning on Hart. Hart not having any of that. Even going to walk through the slippery eyes to get his hands on Joa. Not going to pan out too well, though. Hart getting stuck in a very aggressive position as we see a 3v2 now starting to heat up at mid. 8 seconds left in the game as we are going to head into overtime. AIS actually favored here in overtime thanks to the lack of a, well, thrower, actually. Ion, of course, they have Barley over here, who is going to have a bit of a rougher time thanks to the lack of walls, though that is not to say that Barley is not good in the absence of walls. RBM going down here to Darvin's. Darvin's looking for this next super. Misa not going to be able to get full value on that gadget. Of course, Hart with an amazing pull once again. RBM looking for this positioning, and the Sandy Super going down. Krista King now looking to get aggressive as Ion is forced to retreat all the way into their goal. RBM not able to secure this kill here either, though a good defense overall from Ion.
Yeah, low HP across the board, though. Nice snipes from Bane. We have Crest trying to find some good value, but he can't really find all that much, can he? Darvins does pick up the kill. Can he get the ball in time to his teammate? It seems like he will. He's going to go for the dash. All right, the play coming through. Is that going to be a goal? No, RBM is able to save it. Oh my God. What a defense from Ion. It was quite a messy attack from AIS, to be honest. I feel like they could have scored there 10 times if they wanted to, but they decided to go for some much more fancy plays than necessary. And Ion, they were just able to capitalize on that and defend that goal off.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane there. It was so close to going a completely different way. Of course, we see RVM saving that ball right at the end, passing it back to AIS, but then AIS just ran out of time. They could have walked that ball into the goal and had that win right there. It was just a split second longer, and AIS would have brought this one to a tie. But thanks to that amazing defense there from Ion, we are going to see this set here stay at 1-0. And getting into our next game, of course, still on game number 2, the same brawlers coming out from both teams because that last game was a draw. This one's going to be replayed. Ion Gaming, hopefully for them at least, they are not at a disadvantage. They already fought tooth and nail, always going on that defense. A nice pull there. Misa going to go down to Hart once again. Of course, Hart always getting amazing pulls there. Darvins and Krista King now setting up positioning on the left side, now looking for an opportunity to put this goal in. A defensive super there from Misa, and actually looks like Ion has this defense here, and they're going to be bringing this fight back to mid.
Yeah, Ion a bit more defensive, but they are getting out of that position. Bane going to place this super, a duel between the Mortis and the Max. And so far, it seems like RBM has been taking quite a bit more damage. The pull is available on Hard as well. Not so sure what he's trying to achieve there. Going into the Mortis, it's going to be an easy kill for RBM. The pass forward as well. RBM passing back to Joa. Can they find a goal out of that situation? Doesn't seem like it will happen just yet, but look at the freeze. Definitely causing some trouble and chaos on the side of AIS.
Yep, looking good actually. RBM gonna get the double bats. Krista King gonna go down as well. The ball is perfectly in positioning, and Ion will be taking this first goal, bringing our score to 0-1. And Ion, they were in this position in the last game as we head into the last minute. Of course, Ion in the lead. All they have to do is defend here. Hart missing a crucial pull. Of course, we always see Hart going for those pulls at max range and getting some crazy ones, but of course, you're bound to have some slip-ups every now and then. Hart going for this aggressive positioning, trying to get this ball up. Actually, what is he going for here? Trying to get over to the left side, doesn't want to get taken out by Joa, and is forced to go over to the left side as we see Darvin's now return. More double bats coming out from RBM. Darvin's forced to run forward by that slippery super, and RBM will be putting this one in the goal with a dribble to the backside. Set number 1 going to Ion.
Oh my, impressive way to kick things off for Ion Gaming. Taking that set, once again, last week, Ion went out in a round of 32, AIS in the quarterfinals, and Ion, they're just looking to kick things off with an amazing performance. First set in the bag, it was their pick for the map and game mode. We will see how Bounty on Shooting Star goes, a very different game mode and map, much more slower paced, a good way to slow things down for AIS and maybe stop some of that momentum. but at the same time, the opportunity for Ion to go all the way to the next match and just secure this game in the bag. Solid stuff from Ion. I'm really impressed. I feel like this game is the one where they found the most value of the Mortis as well, really creating a lot of space and a lot of problems on the side of AIS, and Ion were just able to capitalize on that much more.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting because they decided to stick with the Mortis, and it ended up working really well. Of course, it, got them a couple goals right there, and Mort was able to go very aggressive for the second goal. I think Mort was, really the key player on that one with the, of course, with the assistance from Lou with that super to force the AIS to just keep running forward and not be able to retreat. I think it was a little bit painful, but it was kind of funny to watch as well. It's a little bit comical to see players slipping around. Though, as we head into Bounty, of course, AIS Club, this is the map that they picked, and seeing as we see RBM always playing Mort, it's not even just, Ion. We always see the Mort coming out from RBM, right? Are we going to see the Mort once again on Shooting Star? Because, of course, it's possible to play here. It's not part of this meta that's locked in, but judging by just the very wacky comps, frankly, that we saw in the first game, I would not totally discount it. I think that this is a possibility, right? We could see Mort specifically to tank the Peep, for instance, when we see the Nanny and the Bow coming out. Though, I mean, I do think it's in the realm of possibilities heading into Shooting Star.
All right, well, we will find out. And indeed, your prediction was correct. And we do indeed have that Mortis coming in with also the Tick. So that's the only mirror matchup on that Tick mid because we have a Byron instead of the Piper or the Nani. This is a really interesting decision, to be honest. Mortis is obviously very decent against most of those brawlers on Ion, except for the Nani, where it's really gonna struggle because it can't really push up. I think the mission is kind of gonna be to just keep that 1-star lead, because it's gonna be hard for them to really push forward and find opportunities. They are just gonna rely on some good heals and on making sure that the Mortis is the one to tank those peeps.
Yep, Ion now getting very aggressive. Joa not going to be able to get that value on Darvin's, or is he? Now he's forced to make an escape. Yep, has to take this L, and Hart will be getting that kill with the Tick Super. Of course, despite being one of the prime targets for Mortis, Tick is going to be one of the hardest things for Joa to deal with here as he plays Mort. Joa going fully aggressive on this entire team, going to open up an opportunity for his teammates to push in as well. Joa actually getting this kill here with the assistance from RBM on the Byron. Misa also staying alive thanks to the help from Byron. I think the Byron pick was actually a really good choice here, especially with the ability to power up your teammates and heal them as they go for very aggressive plays. Joa now trying to get aggressive here. He's got to save this one. Actually manages to get that kill right there. Unfortunately goes down as well. But that is going to be Ion Gaming staying in the lead as we head to the last 20 seconds of the match. AIS, they have no other opportunities to push in here. Of course, we see Joa tanking that Peep as usual. Joa now getting all over Darvin's here, snagging that kill. Still, Ion just 2 stars in the lead. They can't afford to go down here. RBM going down, though. Ion Gaming still managing to grab a couple stars there and keep that lead. That is going to be game number 1 going to Ion, and that is going to send us into our match point.
Yeah, match point for Ion Gaming. Their chance to get the clean 2-0 sweep and move on to the next round. I think their comp was not only impressive, but also I think the execution was really on point. There were so many moments where the Mortis should have died. He should not have been able to find a kill, but some good heals from the Byron, some good plays on his end, and some mistakes on AIS as well. Just made it so he could really capitalize off that brawler. It's not easy to pull off. You may just think, that like easy against Viper, easy against Tick, easy against Nani. It's really not. They all like kind of counter him to a certain extent. And it's very situational, and it is one of those brawlers that only works if he gets himself like set up properly. In a pure 1v1, the Mortis, like, he's not gonna be able to just push into the Piper's face and take her down, because she's gonna hit him like ideally 3 times before he gets up close, and then he's probably already dead. You just need a really strong setup, some good heals from the Byron, some good positioning of your team to give you the space to make those plays work. And Ion just did that wonderfully in that game.
Yep, Ion, they certainly did. They brought out something completely unexpected, and they used it amazingly. Here we do see AIS, though, coming out with the counter. They have Darvins here on the Colette. That's going to have a much easier time at dealing with the Mort. Of course, you can get the 1, 2, and then the super combo to take out any brawler in the game with Colette. The question is, though, is it going to be that effective at taking down Joa? Is that going to be the proper counter? Joa now finding this opportunity to get in here, baits out the last hurrah, and Ion Gaming full aggro here on AIS's spawn point. We see AIS now coming back once again, taking some major damage, but Ion still escapes with the upper hand. RBM getting in here, getting aggressive, has to give this health to Misa. Is Misa gonna go down is the question. What is going on here? I've never seen such an aggressive tick in my entire life. AIS managed to take that kill right there. Ion Gaming, now they're gonna have to go for Darvins if they want to take this lead back.
I am super confused by what was happening there. This seems a bit more logical. Honestly, I feel like the Colette pick is just, yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's going to be so good against that Mortis, and literally like 1 second after the Mortis went from full HP to not existing anymore, which is quite a statement, and why the Colette is going to be shining. Colette, honestly, a really versatile brawler. You don't see her too much in too many different places, especially in Bounty. But look at that, it just has some really good survivability. Might go down here, but it's still alive for now. It does end up dropping, but you know, look at that. She's gonna lose a lot of stars, but it's still the star lead in favor of AIS. And it does mean that she can come back with a bit more breathing room, a bit less responsibilities overall. 8 seconds, Ion with their final chance to catch up. It is a close affair, but yet another kill there from Darvins, from Hart, and AEIS was their first game on the board. Honestly, man, if you look at our previous match, this is exactly the same scenario so far. It's the same maps, the same scores as well. You know, was the first game going to the underdog team, or at least a team that is losing so far. You know, when it's already match point. I wouldn't be surprised if this story goes exactly the same way and it's just Ion to close things out now.
Yeah, of course, though, Ion, they are close to dropping this one. They gotta keep up that momentum that they had earlier. AIS, they are onto their case. They have caught onto the shenanigans that Ion is bringing out, and they're not having it, and they are able to counter it. They bring out the Colette, and the Colette, of course, as you said, we saw just 1, 2, and then Colette supers, and then Mortis is gone. He has disappeared. He does no longer exist. Yeah, so that is just a situation that we're faced up against, actually. Ion is going to be forced to sort of switch up their picks here. The question is, are they going to switch to something that's more traditional here on Shooting Star, or is the same strat going to be employed? AIS, of course, they got to account for this as well, right? The safe thing to do here for Ion would actually be just to run the standard nanny, of course, and your Piper, and right, and your Tick. So the thing is, AIS, if they pick up the Colette this time, they are going to be playing at a disadvantage if they're playing up against what the normal meta is.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, to be honest, because Ion, so far, we've seen them shine, and every time, you know, they did have very different comms to the usual meta. So I'm not sure if that's what they will decide to go for. It seems like it is indeed, and I'm really curious to see if they can win in a mirror matchup, because it's the first one we've had in this entire match.
Yep, well, it's really going to show who is the better mechanically skilled team here. Ion picking up an early lead here on the Piper at 1v1. Over on the left side, of course, Chris the King versus Joa on the Nanny 1v1. I think the Nanny interaction is definitely going to be an interesting one, given that, of course, you have the Peep combined with the return to Cinder combo. Joa almost going down Chris with a near miss right there. AIS, they are behind just a little bit. It's not nearly enough to start calling the outcome of the match, though they are looking pretty solid as they push up here towards Ion Gaming. Though, could this be unwarranted aggression? Are they going to have to back up here? A great tank there from Heart to get rid of that peep. Though Heart is forced to sacrifice some positioning here, Misa's going to be able to get aggressive with this super. Here comes the tick head. Is it going to make a connection, though? Krista King getting hit by the tick super, though not going to quite go down. Ion Gaming, though, keeping this control.
Yeah, so far so good for Ion. They are on match point as well, so if they win this one, they close out this entire match. Misa is pretty low HP, but still alive for the time being. We'll see how long that lasts. There's actually a nice tick head as well. Is going to find a connection, and Ion Gaming only was a 2-star lead because was it Chris that just picked up a kill with the peep? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it's a close affair, but still gonna be a challenge. The blue star is on the side of AIS, so any kill, if they can just pick up a kill and run away, they win this game, they win this set. Good snipe onto Peyton Misa. Can they find some more there? RBM gonna get cornered. Ooh. Not enough time, but that was a close affair. Ion Gaming run away with this game, set, and match, and they will be moving on to the next round.
That was so close. We saw, of course, RBM got hit with that tick attack just right after it said match over. That was so close to going to AIS, and I would definitely be giving a protesto if I were the ones on the receiving end of that. Just unfortunate luck right there. It just really came down to the wire. Though congratulations to Ion Gaming on taking this win. They are going to be heading onto the quarterfinals, the round of 8, and this is a nice one. I think we'll get the chance to look at the bracket as well. We've had some matches going on concurrently. Yes, in the quarterfinals, take a look. Actually, the top right of the quarterfinals, IX Gaming versus IX Academy. This is going to be a fun one to spectate when we come back, though. Also, we have Aqua versus Golden Bullet coming up. Also, on the left side of the bracket, quarterfinals, Tribe Gaming versus Destiny Esports coming up, as well as STMN versus Ion Gaming, and that has been our bracket from G Fuel. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring Brawl Masters, and with that, I think we're going to be headed to a short break as well. Quarterfinals are coming up. Teddy, anything to add before we head to a short break?
Well, I think this was only the start of those qualifiers. I'm pretty sure, actually, that it's only the start, and the most exciting games and matches are yet to come. All those top teams are still in the running, and they will be facing each other later on, so make sure you guys stick around, and we will see you guys after the break.
Welcome back, everyone, to Brawl Masters. Hope you had an excellent break. We are going to be jumping right into our next match here in the quarterfinals. That's right. We're through with the round of 16. No more games from the round of 16. Those have all been played. All of those winners have been decided. It's going to be IX Gaming versus IX Academy. And I got to say, right, I think we do have a little bit of bias as to who's going to be the expected winner in this one, though it's going to be entertaining seeing the main IX team go up against the Academy team.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I feel like we can already expect some puns in chat as well of people saying like, I think IX is gonna win, and things along those lines. I'm excited about it for sure. IX Academy have had some pretty good performances recently as well, but they're definitely quite a bit behind IX Gaming, that has been playing out of their minds in the last month or two, getting some super solid performances overall. They won a monthly final as well, right? Like, that's quite an achievement. And honestly, IX Gaming, they're looking super strong at the moment. Also got some strong wins in the previous qualifiers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them go all the way again.
Yeah, neither would I. Actually, IX, they brought a really strong performance in the last Brawl Masters, of course, the last monthly finals, and those are not really far behind. That was actually just last week, or perhaps a couple weeks ago, actually, for the NA finals. So
Yeah.
looking at very, very good for IX Academy, or sorry, for IX Gaming going into this one. It's a bit of a struggle to see both IX Gaming and IX Academy just in the same match, though. We do have our bans coming in. The first two modes that are going to be banned by IX Gaming are Bounty and Siege. Then IX Academy going to ban Heist and choose Minecart Madness as the first map. IX Gaming choosing Super Stadium to be set number 2, and then Dueling Beetles to be our final mode. And of course, we also have the bans coming in.
Yeah, the maps, you know, so far, starting with Minecart Madness is definitely an interesting decision. I think that IX Academy, they just want to throw the weirder stuff at IX Gaming to try to catch them off guard, leaving a hot zone, leaving Gem Grab in the mix, and going for Minecart Madness this early on. Those are, you know, two maps and game modes that are not the most popular at the moment. They also do involve, especially for Gem Grab and Minecart Madness, the more like most RNG aspects, and that's the best way for them to start, right? Try to surprise them, go for something a bit crazier, and hopefully get as lucky as possible, going for an interesting comp as well. And look at that, Charles just going in already, picking up a kill. Double healer Mortis, you don't see it every day.
Oh, no, not at all. Pretty much never do you see that, though. IX Gaming, they're bringing out something more traditional, right? They brought out something strong, but not something too unexpected here, and I think that's actually a pretty good call. Actually, they just want to bring something strong, but they don't want to necessarily give away what they're going to be playing in the later stages of the tournament. They don't want to give too much intel to our other teams. Of course, all these teams are planning on going all the way. I think IX more so than others, so don't want to give away too much information. Though IX Academy, they're looking very, very good here. Of course, they have that gene that's going to look to capitalize on very aggressive plays from IX Gaming. I think they are also expecting IX Gaming, of course, the main IX team, to underestimate them. So they are picking up the gene and already getting that 10 gem magic number, getting that countdown. I love to see, actually, Charles over here going for that very aggressive play, trying to get Byron out of the... What did I just witness? Okay, Charles pop off. Even got hit by the minecart there. A complete team wipe. What am I witnessing from IX Academy?
Man, Charles absolutely popping off with the 121 trophy Mortis. Dude, I love how at the end he was just there like, okay, I just triple killed. There's only the minecart left. Let me try to take down the minecart. He just went for it, man. He was just like... still in hunting mode, and honestly, man, super impressive stuff from IX Academy. And you know, I think this is exactly how they should play it out as well. Go for some crazy comps on some crazy maps and game modes and try to catch IX Gaming off guard. In game 1, they certainly made that happen. The surprise effect is gonna wear off a bit coming into the second game. I'm curious to see if they want to stick with the same stuff, if they want to go for something more traditional, or if they have another crazy comp ready, you know, to be on IX Gaming.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? We see the Poco ban, right? And then, that means, okay, we're not going to see Poco, of course, but then Byron, of course, is also in the equation. We saw the Byron and
Wait,
Mortis
is there was there a Poco ban?
Oh no, that was a mistake right there. I mean, though,
Okay.
sometimes Poco's banned. Poco was banned in the last match. That was my bad. Of course, we do have the brawler bans up here. Yeah, Teddy walked us through the bans, so I suppose I was a little out of touch. Though, of course, the brawler bans we have Crow, Max, Bell, and Ruffs. No Poco ban, right? And yeah, Poco ban. I don't think that would really work here, considering that we have the Poco.
Yeah, that's why I was confused for a second. I was there like, did I then lose that first game?
Though, of course, Byron, a strong pick here for the heals. All right, take a look at IX Academy now bringing out a different strat this time. Charles with that Poco. Betiches, of course, on that Gene, and Frixie bringing out the Amber this time. So I think really the saving grace for IX Academy in this one is going to be getting that wall break on that pesky obstacle on the left side. It's really going to open things up for Frixie and allow him to have just a little bit more wiggle room over here. Chepo going down to some shots from Frixie. Frixie finding that positioning behind the minecart, and we still do actually see IX Academy keeping this positioning.
They seem to be liking that Poco. I think it was Frixie running the Poco in the previous game, as Charles was on the Mortis, and he is the one running the Poco this time. I like that sort of versatility, that they aren't scared of, committing one player to be there. Like, you are from now on the Poco one trick. Good pull though from Betuches. Has been really solid on that G. Nice dodge as well. Second, almost able to get the pull on to IX Academy's gem carrier, but it's not going to be happening just yet, and IX are catching up gem-wise, but at the same time, it is still Academy, close from getting that countdown.
Yep, IX Gaming looking to keep control, but they are getting taken down by Frixie. Frixie just seems to be such, a pesky brawler or player that IX Gaming is having to deal with right now. That long-range spam coming out from Amber. We see him fire in these long bursts, not necessarily going for little bits of chip damage, always going for that full kill. Taking out Chepo here, second now looking for positioning, needs to be able to get this super. Though, is he going to get the super? He's just trying to get these little chip shots, but it's just not going to be enough. Just being denied this positioning by Frixie, and that is actually going to be set number 1, going to IX Academy in a sweep.
Man, what an upset so far, and IX Academy just seem extremely prepared for this one. They decided to throw them probably the hardest map to play in the game. Also, just the one with the most RNG and things that could go their way with a bit of luck as well, and they played off super well, getting from there, trying to get every single little advantage. They know that in a mirror matchup, most likely they're not going to be winning, right? So they go for some crazy comps, trying to catch their opponents off guard and create some sort of natural advantages here and there with some of the brawler interactions. And it has been working out perfectly. It's a very risky way of playing, but that's how you should be playing, because you are playing against, arguably the second, maybe best team in the region. You don't want to be playing them at a fair game. You want to take risks and have a chance at having a bit of an advantage early on, and I think this is exactly how IX Academy should have approached it, and so far it's impressive how well it worked.
Yeah, I think it's a good choice by IX Academy to pick this map to go first, especially because they do have, as much of it as an advantage as they could on any map here. We did actually see the ban on Shooting Star coming out from IX Gaming. They were not going to have any of that nonsense. They didn't want to, they just didn't want to play Bounty, right? And we saw how that went yesterday, actually, with Shooting Star being picked as a first map by the underdog going into the game, and it ended up turning in the underdog's favor, right? So IX Gaming, I think, has a better chance as we head into this next set here. Of course, IX Academy, they had their map of preference first, and we're going to be heading into Brawl Ball, which is the one that IX picked. Something to note, though, is that we did see that max ban, and that is going to, be a bit of a thorn in the side for IX Gaming, most notably Second Best, who is a very, very, very good max, and it's one of his, pretty much main brawlers, right? It's like his go-to brawler on, it seems like, most every mode. So it's going to be frustrating for IX Gaming to, have to pull out something a bit unusual here. Usually Max is not good enough to ban their more strong brawlers that you would want to get out instead of Max, so it's like a safe brawler to main. though since it's banned, it's gonna be perhaps a similar story to our first set here in Gem Grab. Though I do think IX Gaming mechanically they are a bit better skilled on Brawl Ball.
Yeah, I agree as well. I do want to, say once more that in Gem Grab, it did feel like everything was exactly like just lining up for Alex Academy to take that one home. We were talking about second best. He missed 2 or 3 pulls in that last game of Gem Grab. That is not something you see very often coming from second best. And it is the kind of stuff that will give IX Academy the room to run away with a victory. All those elements, all those factors just lining up perfectly for them is what they need if they want to win against IX Gaming, and it's what they've gotten so far. We'll see if they can keep that up on Triple Dribble. It is not Triple Dribble. It is a Super Stadium, I think.
Super Stadium, you love to see it.
Yes.
Sometimes you can't get those maps confused. They do look kind of similar in the same environment as well. Take a look. Actually, we have Charles getting aggressive once again. He was playing the Mort last time. Now he's onto that Stu. Once more, an aggressive assassin brawler. IX Gaming, though, using this Gene and Sandy and M's sort of approach. M's we don't necessarily see as much on Brawl Ball anymore, unless it is on Sneaky Fields, which of course is in the competitive map pool. Though I think it's an interesting one considered that we don't really have any tanks, and this is actually going to be a really tough matchup for Chepo up against Charles here. Actually managed to get that kill there with the help of Second, and now IX Gaming advancing towards IX Academy's goal. We are seeing IX Gaming finding positioning here at mid. Cryman just trying to push in on the left side here. He is outranged significantly by Frixie, so that is a struggle. Chepo also surrendering a bit of positioning on the right side to Charles as IX Academy now looks to get this flank on the right side to get Chepo and Second out of the equation.
Yeah, we have a nice pinch potential here for IX Academy. Just want to point out that Second Best missed a pull again early on in that game, and I'm hoping for him that he can get that stuff sorted out. We'll see if he can get the impactful pull that you expect from a Gene, and especially from someone with his name. Chepo does have the super available as well. Frixie gonna be supering that right hand side. A lot more control now available for IX Academy to push forward. Charles takes a bit of damage. It's gonna be Betuchits to miss his pull, and now the opportunity for Second to maybe go a bit more aggressive, try to go for a pull of his own. The push coming through from IX Academy. Charles with some dashes. This is the pull from Second, picks up the kill on Betuchits, and now it's a 2-on-3, and IX Academy have to slow things down. IX Gaming using that opportunity to move upwards in the map and get some more control right before overtime kicks in.
Yep, Crying Man now advancing up towards the right side. Betich is taking a little bit of poke damage as Crying Man is trying to use these obstacles to do the best of his ability. While they're still here, Charles gonna have a heyday once these obstacles break down. Gonna be zooming all over the place because that is just the Stu sort of mindset or gameplay. Chepo now looking for a kill or some damage on the left side. Has that super ready to go. Second also has this pole ready to go. He got to hit this pole. He has to hit it, but he's trying to hit it at max range as well, and he does not want to get pulled by Betiches. Getting that pull on Frixie, a great pull there. A decisive kill as well. Chepo now looking for positioning on this super. Charles not having any of that. Chepo forced to use the friend zoner as Charles is healing it yet more and more and more with the healing star power. Charles getting that kill, and IX Academy setting up shop here at mid.
Yeah, close fights, but it's gonna end on a bit of a stalemate. Things slowing down a bit. IX cornering up the bull. They might be playing this one for the draw. We'll see if it's enough. The pull is gonna be dodged there from Second. It is gonna be returned. I don't think Second can get that in. Oh my god, that was actually quite close.
Wow. Well, unfortunate there. It was a real close one. Of course, a draw means that we are going to be replaying this game, though I think this is very surprising actually, because we did see IX Gaming, I think we foresaw IX Gaming getting a bit of an easy win here, though IX Academy do appear to be a little bit better than we expected. Though IX Gaming, let's admit, right, they're not really playing their A game today. Most notably, I think Second, right, is not hitting those pulls. Of course, at Second, a little bit out of his element, typically would be on a max or something like that, but is on the Gene today. So it's a little unfortunate to see him force a little bit off what he's used to, though it is a bit surprising as well to see just one miss pull after the other.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, we just expect a bit more from him mechanically as well. Like, he is known as a very highly skilled mechanical player, and missing so many pulls, like so far he probably has around like 20% like hit rate on those pulls, which is not something we'd expect on his end. We expect it to be much higher, closer to those 100%, if not 100%. You know what I mean? Like, it is a bit disappointing, but it could be a bit of a slower start. We don't really know, what the teams and players go through in their day. It could be that they had some really easy matches before where they didn't really need to warm up too much, and then suddenly they're thrown in this match where IX Academy, they're already, obviously IX Academy, if there's one team they're going to be looking at and analyzing and scrimming and practicing with, it's going to be IX Gaming, right? So it's definitely something to keep into account as well. That's two teams that know each other very well, and IX Academy, they've been studying IX Gaming for the last couple of months, making sure that they can catch up and learn as much as possible from them, which does also mean that they might be able to spot some of those weaknesses that we've been seeing in IX Gaming today.
Yeah, it's like a David and Goliath scenario, right? David finds the weak spot of Goliath despite being really outmatched just by the looks of things. Take a look, actually, as we head into, once again, game number 1. Following a draw between IX Gaming and IX Academy, it's, of course, the sort of same comps. Actually, Betich is now switching onto the Nita here. Charles staying on that Stu. We saw amazing Stu play from Charles in the last game. Cryman finding positioning on the left side. It needs to get some little chip shots around the edges and needs to be able to peek those shots, and is managing to get some really nice peek shots on Betchich's. Just has to farm up that first super to secure that first bit of control for IX Gaming.
Yeah, IX Academy, they could get their way to match point, but look at that, a nice opening for IX Gaming. The pass forward, Krangman picks up the kill. That's going to be the open goal, and IX Gaming take the lead here in this first game of Brawl by picking up that first goal.
Yep, looking very nice for IX Gaming so far. Definitely a improvement over the last game, to say the least. Managing to secure a goal. We did see quite a bit of struggling, actually, in our last game to secure that first goal. Chepo now getting this kill on Betchiches on the right side. Forced to use one of the friend zoners, actually. Second, looking for that pull. Not able to capitalize on the pull. Charles getting taken down. Chepo and Cryman are ready to make this assault. They're actually going to wait for Second, it looks like. Cryman throwing down that super at the perfect time to get some control for IX Gaming. Here it comes the pass from Chepo. Charles looking to intercept this. Charles managing to intercept it, passing to Betchiches. Is that going to be a goal? No, Chepo with the defense, though. That one was so close right there.
Yeah, good stuff. It's gonna be dealt with, talking about that bear. But IX Academy, they are the ones that need a push. They have a situation where they might be able to find something in those next 20 seconds, but they will need to slowly hurry up, try to get some super, some more utility available. Frixie is gonna fall to Crying Man. The pool connects onto Charles as well. Only Batuchit's left alive and will fall himself. This is gonna be game number 1 of Brawl Ball, going to IX Gaming. Technically game number 2, right? We did have a draw earlier, but a solid start from IX Gaming to get back into this game, steal some momentum from IX Academy, and now we know they're only 1 game away from catching up and playing this one out on Dueling Beetles in set 3.
Yep, and that's where IX Gaming is going to have to take this one home if they do plan on winning this match, and I think it would be a little bit upsetting for IX Gaming to be taken down this early on. Of course, just in the quarterfinals, right? But by their own kin, I suppose you could say. IX Academy, one of their brother/sister teams, of course, in the IX org, would not be one that they would be too pleased with. Maybe some stuff is going on behind the scenes, right, as well. IX Academy, of of course, you said it has some intel on, or well, some, right, is an understatement. Loads of intel on IX Gaming from constantly scrimming. You know, this is how these teams prepare for matches like this, or really just any match in general. They're scrimming and practicing all the time. Though IX Gaming, of course, being one of the top teams in NA, they, of course, are going to be entering this one as the favorites, and it's plain to see it that they are a very skilled team. So they need to take this one back from IX Academy. They just need to get this next game in that will take us into Dueling Beetles.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for IX Gaming, I have to say. I think that especially a hot zone, it's some very long and tedious fights that do last for a very long time. So it's an approach that is going to be favoring the team that is, you know, just better at the game, especially when you have only that one zone. Everyone is just team fighting in the center. And that's where a team like IX is going to be shining against IX Academy. We will find out, though, if we get all the way there after this game. It's IX Gaming on the more offensive side of things right now. They're a bit more up close. Frixie taking quite a bit of damage there. Crying Man gonna pop the gadget, will make it out full HP, and now IX Gaming may be able to find some better positioning. Charles was considering going for a play there, but wasn't really able to get it started, and now suddenly IX Gaming with the man advantage, pushing forwards, getting into a good position, but Super now available on Betuches. The respawn on Charles coming true, and IX Academy able to defuse that sticky situation.
Yeah, but we do see Charles, right, getting ready for this next assault. We've seen some amazing Charles plays so far. The question is it going to be enough? We do see a very strong comp from IX Gaming. It's not one that necessarily favors Charles here and his Mort, of course. Chepo looking for this next super as well. Frixie in a similar position, looking forward to this next super. He's going to be trying to farm it up on the second, but it does not seem to be going so well. Frixie forced to play even more aggressive than he would like to, as IX Academy tries to push out of this situation where they are just completely surrounded. IX Gaming just farming up their supers as well. Second, well equipped with this super, flashing that super just a little bit. You know Second wants to use this thing, though Frixie has managed to get up the next super. Betchiches with a pull, but it's not going to connect with Chepo. Second now going for this kill on the bear, and the Sandy super going down from Crying Man. An opening on the left side for Frixie to push through. IX Gaming actually going to fully surround Frixie and take advantage of the situation, though they have given up their positioning at mid. IX Academy is now going to have this opportunity to push up, though the bear just seems to be such a threat. It's staying at full health thanks to all this damage that Chepo is doing to Charles. Charles now looking to get this ball as well. Is he going to be able to run this one home, though, is the question. No, not going to be able to run it home. The sad pin coming out from Charles, as IX Academy gets an excellent pull there. Charles taking out Chepo, but IX Gaming, they encroach ever further on IX Academy's goal. As we head into overtime, Crying Man well equipped with this super as well. It is decisively not in either team's favor. Second looking for this ankle breaker, and that is going to be this game, this set going to IX Gaming, and that will take us into Dueling Beetles.
Yeah, set number 3 up next, as we are all tied up. Some hot zone action, as you rightly said, on Dueling Beetles. It's going to be a tough way to close things out for IX Academy. I feel like IX Gaming have gained quite a bit of an advantage. I do want to say that it is a map where you can bring in some crazy stuff. And I'm hoping to get some of that from IX Academy, because I think they need it. Because those more mirror matchup, those more classic brawlers, they're not really going to be enough for them to take down IX Gaming. I think we need something similar to what we had in Gemred, where they constantly surprise them with some different comps, some different brawlers, some strategies that are just out of the ordinary and that are just not really expected by IX Gaming. The question is, do we have any more plays, that IX Academy have in their playbook? Is there anything more fancy like we had in that first game left in their bag? I'm not sure. I feel like in Brawl, that kind of it was a lot less creative. You know what I mean? Like it did feel a lot more like they had to go for some more generic brawlers, and those weren't really doing too well against IX Gaming.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for IX Academy. I think IX Gaming, they've had some good performance on Dueling Beetles, of course, being in the competitive map pool for so long. We see IX Gaming, I mean, of course, they scrim this map a lot, so they're going to find some strange things at work. IX Academy, I think really their biggest advantage here is, of course, not saying that they have the advantage, but I mean, really the biggest thing that they could use to win here is knowledge of some strange things that IX Gaming would be employing to win, some things that you wouldn't expect to work, but do in fact work. IX Gaming, they do have the advantage of having that knowledge right there, but IX Gaming, they do have, of course, the advantage of, I think, being just mechanically, right, being the more skilled team, and I don't think that's even too controversial right there. I mean, you're looking at some of the biggest names in NA here coming out from IX Gaming. IX Academy, definitely the guys on the come up, skilled as well, but IX Gaming, right, they have proven that they are one of the top players in NA. Of course, they're our monthly finalists from May, so it really could not be clear who is mechanically, predetermined to win this match, but IX Academy, they do have the advantage of the knowledge. They're just gonna have to pull out something unexpected if they plan on taking down IX Gaming.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it has to be, for an upset match here, we do need some brawlers that can pull it off. We will see. We have the Poco Gene B for IX. That is really interesting. IX Academy was the Poco Mortis once more, but this time gonna be played out with the Sprout as well. It's pretty even so far, I have to say. Although Betucci's, I can't quite pick up that kill, and now suddenly a bit of an advantage. But look at that,
Wow.
Charles just absolutely popping off, picking up 2 nice kills. Chapo gonna be left low HP out of this one, and IX Academy with some more control.
Yep, Cryingman now looking for this next pull. Of course, he's pulling out that true gold gene, one of the rarest ones in the game. So interesting to see as well. Though Charles, once again, going in and looking for the bats. Doesn't make the triple bats connection, but once again, actually does make the triple bats. IX Academy is still in the lead as far as points, quickly being usurped by IX Gaming, who's forced to run off the point. Actually, Frixie screeching solo. The screeching solo kill coming out from Frixie. Frixie taking down at Chepo in second. Now going for control here. I think that this is actually a good play from Betchiches here using the Sprout, right? It's going to give second a bit of trouble hitting these targets. Of course, the Poco tank or Poco Mort is just going to be tough for IX Gaming to deal with. They are not going to be able to stay as close together. It's sort of a counter to Cryingman here with the Magic Puffs, because we do see IX Gaming sticking close together to take advantage of the Magic Puffs, and now they're spreading out so that that does not happen again. Cryingman forced to back off the point as Chepo is nearly taken down. Charles hitting those bats, though, and getting the heals up. IX Gaming, though, still in the lead here. They do have a good chance of taking this one to match point. Second, going for these dodges, screeching solo, claims yet another victim, and Chepo is the only one from IX Gaming now claiming any territory on this point.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for IX Academy, though. They need a nice retake, and they need it really quickly. Charles able to pick up the 1 kill, only Chepo left alive. He could close it out here. The wall is going to be working in his favor, 1%. And I don't think that there's anything that IX Academy can do. IX Gaming at match point, about to reverse sweep IX Academy.
Wow, that is actually amazing. I think, yeah, definitely a reverse sweep right there, though. IX Gaming, I mean, it could not have been closer, really. It got 95% to 100%. And we saw all sorts of things coming out there. It was a screeching solo, right? It was the Mort. It was the heals onto the Mort. Mort hitting the triple bats as well. Like, that was crazy. Getting bats on the entire enemy team to keep himself in business. I think those are some really good plays from IX Academy. Though, unfortunately, it just was not enough to compete toe-to-toe with our monthly finalists.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it was some really solid stuff from IX Academy. I do feel like they had a surprising comp. I do feel like maybe they could have gone for something a bit better, to be completely honest. I think the Sprout was struggling to find a lot of value, whereas the Poco and the Mortis were absolutely wilding. It did feel like the Poco was always on the back line, which is where he's supposed to be. I said the Poco, but I meant the Sprout, and wasn't really able to find all that much value, to be honest. Missing a lot of shots, which means less walls and less of the map covered. So I feel like that's really where they need to make the change. They could play some mind games and just play the Poco Mortis again and just, hope that it works this time. I think there was some better backup. It really could.
Yeah, I think it could work as well, right? Ice Academy, right, definitely at the disadvantage here on the back foot, right? They're going to have to come back here. It was a very close one. We are going to be getting into our final game, well, or possibly our final game. Of course, it's a match point, though. IX Gaming, they are looking at very nice just overall. They do have a chance of taking this one back in the reverse sweep. Frixie getting taken down, no longer any risk of the screeching solo there, though it is looking a little bit more mirrored. We do have actually Sprout going for this matchup on the right side. Chippo actually bringing out an unexpected Lou pick here. It's actually going to open up opportunities for Cryman. Is that a spin that I just saw from IX? Of course, not too unexpected, though this was excruciatingly close for IX Academy to take this one, though it could not look even more decidedly in IX Gaming's favor.
Yeah, this time around, it's just really not working out at all for IX Academy, is it? The Poco is struggling to get anything done. I think that Crying Man is pulling off a great gene. Solid B shots, and Chepo doing an excellent job on Lou as well. Here we go. Very different contrast compared to our previous game where it was so close. The difference here was like, in game one, it was like a 5% difference. Here at IX Academy, they captured 5% of that entire game. What a way to come back for IX Gaming to move on to the semifinals. And unfortunately for IX Academy, they didn't have that explosive start and so many surprises regarding the comps. It was not enough to take down IX Gaming, but honestly, still an impressive performance on their end.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting, even impressive performance there from IX Academy, able to take down IX Gaming in a sweep there on Minecart Madness. Of course, Minecart Madness, right, a lot of things were working in their favor, though at the same time, it is Gem Grab, right? Kind of like the quintessential Brawl Stars game mode, and they did manage to take down IX Gaming in a clean sweep. So IX Academy definitely, even just based off of this, have a bright future ahead of them here in Brawl Masters. We're going to probably see them next week in the next round of qualifiers, but for the time being, IX Gaming will be moving on to the semifinals, and we will be getting into our next quarterfinals match. It's going to be Tribe Gaming versus Destiny Esports. Destiny Esports, of course, we saw them last time in the qualifiers for Brawl Masters. Tribe Gaming, of course, no introduction needed. These guys are some phenomenal players and one of the top 3 teams in NA. Of course, our NA meta is sort of like 3 top teams. It's going to be STMN, it's going to be Tribe, and it's going to be IX. Some more teams could sort of enter that ranking right there, but for the time being, that's how it is looking. So Destiny Esports definitely have their work cut out for them versus one of the titans of NA.
Yeah, tough quarterfinal ahead of us. Destiny Esports, I haven't heard all that much from them, to be completely honest. I remember seeing them playing in a couple of events and getting some decent results. But I don't know, man. It is Tribe that they are facing, and Tribe has been the titan of the region for the last 6 months or so, with an incredible year last year. This year doesn't seem to be all that different. They have been challenged a bit more, but yeah, I don't know if Destiny is going to be the biggest challenge for them. They are a Mexican team, it seems, at least I believe so. Maybe my flag knowledge is not on point. I am not from NA, guys, forgive me. But yeah, overall, some names I'm not super familiar with. Sir Johnny, Shots, Fana, and Mateo. I haven't really heard from those guys before.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. We have seen a handful of these players, right, making some nice moves in the competitive scene, not necessarily making it to the monthly finals, right, like the big stage, though they are some prominent figures here in NA, not to the degree of our monthly finals, of course, just reiterating, but some of the better known competitive players here in NA.
Yeah, we will see if they can surprise Tribe Gaming. But On paper, it is a pretty one-sided affair. Tribe Gaming are heavy favorites. We will see if Destiny can, yeah, kind of get us those surprising factors in plays like in the previous match we saw from IX Academy. Super Stadium to kick things off is the pick from Destiny Esports, which is going to be interesting. I feel like Gem Grab would probably be the way to go, but obviously Tribe did ban that immediately. Siege on some assembly required, a heist on hot potato. I honestly doubt we're gonna go to set number 3. We have our bans as well ready.
Yeah, bans are going to be Bell and Poco coming out from Tribe Gaming. None of that nonsense. They don't want to have to deal with the Bell. Poco as well, right? Not something that Tribe wants to deal with. They don't want to have those Poco double tanks surprising them. They don't want to play that, sort of rock, paper, scissors that you sometimes get into with deciding, okay, are they going to run a tank comp or things like that. Of course, the bans coming out from Destiny, they are banning Stu, usually a go-to, as well as Gene here. They don't want to deal with the Gene coming out from Tribe Gaming. We see some great Gene plays coming out from Tribe, most notably actually on some assembly required. Destiny Esports, they don't want to have to deal with that on some assembly, which is actually going to drastically change up the pace of some assembly. But another thing that Gene ban does eliminate is the Gene Max Sandy that is so prevalent in competitive right now. One of those comps that it just does not seem to have a counter, right? So it's in the same ballpark as the Poco ban. We don't want to have to deal with some of these really powerful strategies and have to account for them. It just makes things really confusing when you do. So given the chance, let's get it out of here.
Exactly. I think that for a long time now, the meta has been to simplify things, kick anything out that involves too many different counters and interactions, and just keeping things simple, which is always going to be the advantage of the team that is better mechanically or a bit more straightforward. Look at the Tribe already pushing up with a strong push,
Wow.
and Raz walks it in. Tribe Gaming with the early goal.
Yep, just 20 seconds, and Tribe already has that ball in the goal. Zulon now giving the speed to Raz. This is exactly the situation that we saw last time. Is it going to be a pass at Zulon? No, not able to get the dribble. Onto the right side, though. Sir Johnny looking for this positioning. Tyrant able to hold his ground. Raz now looking for the escape to also deal with this bear, though Sir Johnny's not going to let that come easily. Does a little bit of damage to Raz to put him out of commission for a little bit longer. Zulon now getting the speed onto Tyrant. The pass up to Zulon. The pass to Raz is imminent, or is it? Zulon now with the dribble once again, but not able to hit that, unfortunately. Actually, really like that. Actually, we saw Raz, of course, go up mid, and we did expect the ball to be passed to Raz, but then Zulon, in a bit of an unexpected move, did go for the dribble. It's kind of like in American football, right? You have the quarterback sneak the ball somewhere else. You expect the ball to go somewhere else, and then you start defending that, but then it's a subversion of your expectations to open up some opportunities for yourself.
Oh, nice
wow, and what a pass! Unbelievable there from a Tribe all the way down the field in just seconds. Tribe will be taking it game number 1.
Yeah, that was an absolutely beauty of a goal there from Tribe Gaming. Beautiful teamwork, beautiful timings, and making everything work. You can just see that they are a level above. You know what I mean? Like, once again, it is just one game, but you could just see that this is the standard for Tribe Gaming. And Destiny Esports, they are not only going to have to match it, they are going to have to exceed that level of play if they want to keep competing in this second qualifier. And honestly, man, I'm happy I'm not in their shoes.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I would not want to be in their position right now, especially after a couple of goals that, seemed very preventable right there. The Rosa, of course, with the shield, and then the pass all the way down the field. It just feels like man, I could have accounted for that, right? Like, I could have seen that one coming. Just spectacular plays. I mean, Zulon, of course, was just ready and open for that pass all the way down the field, and it's one of those situations where you go like, we should have had someone on Zulon to take him out, right? We didn't think he was going to be a threat, but he was open for that pass. We are going to be getting into a game number 2, and same comp actually coming out from Tribe Gaming. Destiny Esports bringing out much of the same. They have Mateo still on that Nita and Johnny on that Barley. Shots trying to get around the side here. Doesn't manage to get that dribble off perfectly, though. almost an opportunity to score here. Actually, Tribe might have backed up a little bit too fast here. Destiny is going to put in this first goal.
Oh my, that is going to be a different change of pace, and this time in favor of Destiny Esports to push forward from shots once more. He wants to do it once again, but it's not quite gonna happen, and Tribe are able to defend off, and instead, well, they have a wide open goal in front of them and they tie things up.
Yep, and that takes our score to 1-1. Tribe just one game away from winning this game and taking us into our next set, though Destiny similarly just one goal away from keeping this set going. Raz now looking for this pass. Mateo actually saying, no, please don't put that in their goal. Passing it away, though, does look like it is going to go the way of Tribe. A nice pass, and that's going to be Zulon putting it in the goal, taking us in to set number 2.
Good stuff from Tribe. We saw a bit more on the side of Destiny Esports this game. They had that one nice opportunity early on that they managed to capitalize on and score. But is it enough? Probably not, right? It still felt like Tribe were for the most part under control. Siege is going to be coming up, some assembly required. A pretty classic map, has been in competitive for the longest time. And I still feel like this is good for Tribe. Tribe is really solid on those control game modes such as Siege. It is a bit of a more complex game mode where some small mistakes could be very punishing. Like you could dominate 80% of the game and just not get that final siege belt, and then you lose despite being technically, you know, playing better, just because some of the decisions or some of the stuff just got out of control towards the end. So it is a chance for Destiny Esports to come back. It is a good game mode to get those sweet comebacks. And especially a nice map as well, because there is a lot of cover, so it is not the hardest to sneak with some bolts, you know, and even if you don't get the first 2 siege bots, start with a nice lead in the third one and get that win. But it's still going to be a big challenge ahead of them, let's be honest.
This is going to be a challenge as well. I mean, considering the Jane ban here, right? That one's not going to be like a total game changer, but it does disrupt the pace that we usually see on some assembly, right? Typically, your strategy is you are going to get that pull, you're going to destroy some stuff, but not this time. And it is going to have a major impact on how Tribe plays this game. It's the Siege Mort coming out from Raz, and Raz, of course, being a very talented Mort. But playing it on Siege here, right, is usually not the move that we see coming out from Tribe. But this is, I mean, I think this is the NA meta, right? Siege Mort is in full force, and the Siege bot is going to be going to Destiny for our first Siege.
Yeah, where it gets dangerous, though, is we have a 4-bolt lead in favor of Tribe, which after a first Siege bot is kind of insane. You don't really see that very often. We'll see how long they are gonna take to get a retake going their way. Zulan on the spike, definitely an interesting pick as well. Might do alright against the BB, but it does get 2-shot as well, so I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out if he can get some nice shots down. But right now, Destiny Esports with quite a bit of control. They might be getting that second siege bot, but Tribe, every single bolt they pick up, no matter what, is gonna just offer so much value.
Yep, shots over here on the right side, just trying to keep control. We've seen shots picking up so many bolts. Actually, Destiny going to be able to grab it this second. Siege bot Raz going for positioning on Mateo, not going to be able to secure that kill either. Tribe Gaming struggling a little bit with the Siege Mort pick, actually. Zulon on the spike dealing some major damage to the bot, but does not look like Tribe Gaming is really adequately prepared for this defense. Mateo and Johnny are trying to get all over the save. A good body block, though, from Zulon. That is going to give this positioning back to Tribe as they get several seconds to just pick up all the bolts, right? As many bolts as their hearts desire, and get this level 10 siege bot up and running. It's going to get even more powerful. Raz just needs to make sure that he can defend any of Destiny's players from getting into their spawn and dealing any damage to their Ike. Looks like Destiny Esports is actually setting up for a large defense, or perhaps not. Johnny really wants to be able to get on this Ike here, but it's just not going to happen. The sticky syrup is going to slow down the siege bot, and we do see the defense from Mateo as well. There's a lot of ground to pick up here. Zulon is forced to play defense. Raz is not going to be able to get on that safe. Tyrant is the only one dealing any damage to the Ike, and it's just not enough time. That will be this game going to rather going to Destiny Esports.
Yeah, impressive stuff on their end. I think they defended it really, really well towards the end, making sure that Tribe had to allocate resources all over the map. They knew that the weakness on Tribe was that Mortis for the final push. Because as a Mortis, like, you're not gonna be getting any damage on that Ike, are you? You know, like, it's just not really possible. You have to be sitting on that Ike, and then you're taking damage. It's just really not ideal. So they knew that the Mortis would be looking for picks, and they really exploited that by pushing on the left-hand side and making sure that the Spike, which would have been one of the main damage dealers, was just not anywhere around. They got the kill on the Barley early on, I believe, as well. And just overall, that final siege belt was in shambles for Tribe even before it started. So amazing setup from Destiny Esports to get a good defense. It was still close, but you know, winning in a close way against Tribe is still a quite sizable win.
Yep, though Tribe Gaming, I think they do stand a very good chance of taking this one back. We do see a change in strategy. Tribe already picking up a bolt here, now going to equalize the bolt count. Are they going to be able to take this first bot, though? Taking this bolt count to 2 versus 1, and that is going to be our first bot now going to Tribe. This is already a change over last game, where we actually did see Destiny take a couple of the first bots. Zulan now getting aggressive, trying to defend this Tick super here. Actually, a great defense there from Destiny. Actually, pretty much textbook, in fact, coming out from Destiny. As Tribe, it still does have the lead here at mid, but not by that much. Destiny is doing a phenomenal job of keeping this control here.
Yeah, 15 seconds left until the second siege bot, which technically would be the first, because we ended up having a tie. Shots pushing up, low HP, gonna fall to Raz. Mateo low HP as well, does make it out alive, but this is gonna be quite a large siege bot for Tribe Gaming. But look at that bolt count for Destiny. If they can defend this one well, they are in a really good position, but they gotta survive the one push first.
Yep, are they going to be able to survive it, though? It looks so, actually, though. Or are they? Actually, Raz getting all over this point. Tyrant getting some massive damage as well. Just a little over 3,000 damage remaining on the safe, and it looks like we're watching the same game replay now from Tribe's, or rather from Destiny's perspective. Destiny managed to get those first couple of bots, and they spent the entire last siege trying to get that last bit of damage. Tyrant able to get 3 shots, and that is it. Tribe Gaming now taking us to match point.
Good stuff from Tribe. They are at match point indeed. Only one more game is all they need to move on to the semifinals and knock Destiny Esports out of this second qualifier. I honestly don't think we're gonna be seeing any heist. I am confident that Tribe can get the 2-0 to clear things out. I think that Destiny played really well in Siege overall, but this game was already a very different contrast to the first one, and I think it's just gonna keep going this way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, coming out from Tribe that last game, I mean, like I said, it was pretty much a repeat of what Destiny managed to pull off on Tribe in game number 1, except that the real exception was that Tribe Gaming was able to pull off the dive there with Max and Barley. They were able to get those last 3 shots onto the Ike, and that's really all they needed to take that match home. The thing is, I think Destiny is going to be a little bit better equipped for that going into our next game. We did see also the change up in comp. We saw the Rico coming out. Destiny, you know, not really changing things up. I think Rico was a pretty big game changer because he was able to get long range control as well as, you know, control within those obstacles, especially considering the gene ban, right? You're not really going to have wall break. Another thing is, I think Destiny did struggle to get control there with a Tick, just because Tick cannot really position himself in mid and pick up the bolts. Tick is usually just used to grab some control for instance, a tank at mid to go and pick up those bolts, and that's not really what we saw in game number 2.
Yeah, I agree. I also feel like overall the comp from Tribe was a bit more versatile, whereas the one in game 1 was a lot like. It could be really strong, but it could also get countered a lot more. And in this case, there were some harder counter. on the side of Destiny. So I think that something like a Max, like a Rico, is just really hard to play against, and they did a good job having the double throwers. But something like a Tick, like against a Max and a Rico that can just run so quickly left and right, get some bounces, dash into your face. You're not gonna have enough last hurrahs to really last forever, and this is gonna be once again a different comp coming in to this game. And the first bolt already going the way of Destiny Esports.
Well, actually, we do see Shots able to get in there and take that away from Zillan, who was definitely expecting it to get that first bolt, especially with the pneumatic booster, but it just wasn't happening. This is like what we saw when Jackie had first come out and was meta for a while. Actually, Zulon going down there to a tiny little shot there from Mateo, who's going to be snagging some control here at mid. Johnny's going to be setting up for this sticky syrup to slow down the bot over here. Tribe actually going to go for some damage on this push right here. They're going to get some massive damage on the safe. Loads of damage coming out from Tyrant Raz, taking a couple shots there, but, it's just a little bit of damage. You sometimes got to lose a battle to win the war. Tribe Gaming actually keeping control of mid here. That is the thing with the first siege bot, right, is because it's never really about getting a damage on the safe with that first siege bot, and it's always about getting free control of mid. The mid control changes hands when you have a siege bot coming from the other team, right, because you're forced to defend it. Tribe Gaming, they are looking like they are going to keep control as well. Level 8 siege bot coming in for Tribe Gaming, and they're tying up the bolt count for the final siege as well. Destiny Esports, they have a lot of catch-up to do.
Yeah, so far so good for Tribe Gaming. They got that second siege bot. They're getting quite a bit of damage. They could actually close things out here, and they will certainly do just that. Tribe Gaming taking down Destiny Esports as they move on to the semifinals and knock Destiny out of the bracket.
Looking very good for Tribe from where we stand, snagging that 2-0 victory in set number 1, then the 2-1 victory in set number 2. Of course, Tribe, this is a bit of the hazard though, is Tribe, they did choose Siege as set number 2. Perhaps they did want to choose Brawl Ball as set number 1 given the chance, or set number 2 as Brawl Ball if they were given the chance. They had to decide between Siege and Heist here, right? And they chose they chose Siege, obviously. But I think, Tribe, they got beaten a little bit at their own game in game number 1, and that was certainly a little bit upsetting, especially considering that, it looked a lot closer than it should have been, right? If we are going to see Tribe take this all the way to first place.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we did see some mistakes here and there from Tribe. For the most part, they were, in control of this match. Destiny weren't too big of a threat. I don't think Destiny played bad by any means. I'm impressed by their level of play for sure, especially since I had never seen them play before, right? So I'm definitely impressed by the way they played this match. But you need to do more than impress me to win against Tribe Gaming in a best of 3. You know what I mean? Like it's more than that, and it wasn't there today. Maybe they'll get some better luck next week. Tribe Gaming, on the other hand, moving on to the semifinals, looking pretty decent, all things considered. I think that Siege in the best of 3 is always going to be a bit like here and there. You can get surprised a bit or be unlucky and not get one of the Siege bots that really matters. So I would blame it on that for now, and feel like they are in a pretty good form so far today. And yeah, we'll see later on once they start facing those top 3, top 4 teams, if they can keep it up like that.
Yep, and we are going to get a chance to look at the bracket to just get an overview of how things are looking right now. Our bracket powered by none other than G Fuel. Take a look at our semifinals standings. Of course, our quarterfinals have been played. STMN taking down Ion, Tribe taking down Destiny, IX Gaming taking down IX Academy, and Aqua taking down Gold Bullet. Our matches for the semifinals are going to be Tribe versus STMN. A huge grudge match today, especially we actually saw them play in Queso Cup yesterday, so that is going to be even more of a grudge match. Though on the other hand of our semifinals, IX Gaming versus Aqua, 2 matches that you're not going to want to miss coming up. We're going to take a short break as well, actually, but just keep these in mind. These are your semi-final matches. Cannot wait to get into some exhilarating matches between really the top 4 teams in NA.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some heat ahead of us. So far, we couldn't quite watch every single team compete because we had like tons of them. But we will be watching both semifinals and grand finals. We will see you right after the break, guys.
Welcome back, everyone, to Brawl Masters. We are now in the semi-final stage of the tournament. Only 3 matches remain before we have determined our grand finalists for our second qualifier here in NA. Of course, once again, I am joined by none other than the legendary Teddy. Teddy, how are you feeling about these upcoming matches?
I am feeling quite good. We had some pretty contrasting brackets, to be honest. I think that Ix and Aqua, they had to fight quite a bit more on their side of things, or at least they had some closer battles with some matches going to 2-1, some really tough opponents, and so I'm excited to see how they battle it out in our first semifinal of the evening. IX are going to be the favorites. Let's be honest here. They have a bit of a better track record, a bit of a better form as well. You know, just being monthly final winners. Actually, Aqua has been an up-and-coming team that has shown us some really impressive stuff, and I'm hoping that they can keep impressing us tonight against IX. Gamings, we are going to be seeing some hot zone action on dueling beetles. That's the pick from Aqua. Quite a way to kick things off, to be honest. You don't see hot zone being played out all that much, even less in the first pick. So I'm expecting them to have something fancy ready for us over there. Super Stadium in Brawl Ball is going to be up next, and finally Heist to kick things off. And we got our sweet bands as well, Poco and Max on the side of IX, and then Jean and Bell for Aqua.
Yep, you'll have to see these bands coming in from IX. Of course, the Poco and the Max band, though. This is really unusual, actually, coming in from IX, considering that we were really chalking up the lack of Max play from, or rather, the Max ban or the lack of Max play, right? IX Gaming, we thought that the Max ban was just because, okay, right, this is a targeted ban towards second when we watch IX Academy versus IX Gaming. Now they're banning Max themselves. They're just not having it. And we do see the wall break comp coming out from Aqua. They're going for the B and the Colt and the 8-bit right off the bat, and this is going to pose some issues, actually, for IX Gaming, considering that they do have the Sprout out here. Sprout, of course, going to be able to throw up some walls as well to put an end to some of the B domination that we are going to be seeing on the right lane. Though, so far, actually, IX Gaming is making an impression on this point over here. You do finally start to see those first percentage points trickle in from Aqua, but IX Gaming, they managed to get control just for a little bit there at the beginning.
Yeah, this is one of the comps that we've seen dominate on this map lately, going for the goal to open things up, and then B and 8-bit for those open fights once there aren't too many walls to work around with. It does so well against throwers, against tanks, pretty much against anything. And so far, it's not a big lead, but the further we get into this game, the less walls there are going to be to work around with, which, you know, for a Sprout, definitely not going to be ideal. For Ruffs, not exactly the best situation either. Although IX, they do have a bit of control right now. They are doing pretty well at getting as much as they can early on into this game. Will be passing by that 50% threshold, and so far they are the ones hitting those beams as well. I want to commend, man. Crying Man is able to find so much value of those beams from afar. Great kill from Chepo on the right-hand side. Zar, low HP, is gonna stay alive for now, but just not a good situation for Aqua. IX almost able to close down this game already.
Yeah, actually looking like very good gameplay here from IX. Second in Chepo, able to stay on this point and take this match, or rather this game, decisively. A nice first victory there coming out from IX. I didn't expect to see the Sprout work out so well, especially since we saw all of those walls broken down. But, I mean, it makes sense, right? Why do we see Sprout counter Piper so well, right? Well, because Sprout is able to put up its own walls. And so, if you destroy all of our walls, cool. I'll just make some more men. It's not really that hard. Yeah, right? So, nice gameplay there coming out from IX Gaming. Aqua now on the back foot as we are going to be heading into our second game very shortly. Something I do want to comment on, something that you guys can keep your eye out for in the next game is Kengarmo, right? It was a little bit tough to see his name because somehow there's a massive space in his name, and it is like taking up the space of 3 separate names. So as we head into our next match, that's Kengarmo right there. Is a little bit tough to read, just really funny to see there, right? Though with that, I think, you know, we are going to have some predictions going into our second game. We did have the break comp coming out from Aqua there, and it didn't seem to pan out so well versus a more traditional comp from IX. I think we'll see Aqua also switch to something a little bit more traditional just to compete on a level playing field.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, often, although I think that the comp they were playing is possibly the best comp in the game for this map, I do feel like what players can underestimate sometimes is how demanding it is mechanically. Like, you need to be on point with your aim, like absolute crazy, and no cover also means no cover on your side, so you need to be super good at those dodges, and it seemed like it wasn't quite working out for Aqua. So I think this is why this comp has been falling off a little bit, because everyone kind of wants to go for it, but you know, if your opponents are able to beat you mechanically, then you're just making them a bit of a favor, aren't you?
Absolutely. Heading into our second game here, IX Gaming now leading by 1 game. And we do see a bit of a comp change. Cryman now switching onto the Barley, throwing down some healing bottles there for his teammates. It's a double thrower plus a Chepo here on the Lu. And it's interesting, actually, we saw Chepo switching onto this Lu earlier, and it actually did work out quite well for IX. We don't see Lu really in any other game mode, perhaps maybe on Siege sometimes just to get a 100% defense, though that's really all we see him in besides dueling Beetles, and it seems to be working out pretty well so far. The double throwers are giving a lot of trouble to Aqua as they struggle to push in here. Zar just trying to get that first turret up. Second, getting very aggressive positioning and getting a nice pinch there along with Chepo. IX Gaming taking decisive control in the spin coming out as well, the signature IX spin. Aqua, they have their work cut out for them. They really just need to get up some supers as we head into the second half of this game.
A lovely wall from second as well to just completely remove the middle from the map. And IX, they are already 3/4 down in that zone and getting closer and closer to finishing this game and set. Aqua, I mean, you know, the first game was already a tough one on their end, but this is even more drastic as there's a 92% difference. That is quite insane. IX looking convincing. And this kind of questions for me the decision from Aqua to play this map first, because it is their choice. And IX, we saw them played earlier against IX Academy as well, right? And it was super convincing, right? They had the win was like a 96% advantage or something. They just look super dominant on this map.
Yeah, and as we head into our second set here in Brawl Ball, this was actually IX's pick here. So IX Gaming, right, competing here on Hot Zone, not one that we really expected, especially considering that we do typically see the Hot Zone ban, right? IX, of course, they didn't ban Hot Zone in their previous match that we watched versus IX Academy, though here on Brawl Ball, it was pretty decisive, I think. IX Gaming, they brought us some really good plays, and this is their favorite map. So Aqua, they have their work cut out for them in set number 2 because they are going to have to go for the reverse sweep here if they plan on making it to the grand finals.
Yeah, Super Stadium it is. We have the Nita matchup on the left-hand side. Actually, full on mirror matchup as we have a Jessie duel in the center and a Barley showdown on the right lane. We'll see how that goes. So far, it seems to be favoring IX a little bit, but they do get the man advantage now. Kangarmo going for the for the turret. Doesn't really last for that long, but he might be able to pick up that kill on Crying Man. Never mind, he's able to heal up, and now a bit more of an even position as we got that reset going.
Yep, IX now pushing up here. It's a pretty even mid-fight, especially considering the mirror match. Chepo now going to get some more control with this Super. Zar just powering right on through. Just one shot is all it's going to take. Zar forced it back. Chepo getting a nice pinch between his own bottles on that fight on the right side. Now IX Gaming encroaching further and further on Aqua's goal. Looks like Aqua just does not have much more room that they can back up. Kang now, though, ready to throw out this turret when it is most useful. Crying Man also looking for this next super as well. Chepo putting himself into a similar position as last time as he looks to zone out Zar and get this lane win. Crying Man getting slowed down here and getting taken down by Slash. Slash ready with this bear as well. Going to go for the pinch onto second. Here comes the bear and the faux fur as well. Just to get a little bit more control, waste some shots over here, and enable Zar to push up. Second, though, getting some shots on Zar. Kang also going for control of mid as our fight is actually turned around. IX Gaming now defending their goal with this 2v3 fight versus Aqua.
Yeah, IX going to be cornering out that ball. Want to just slow things down a bit. 30 seconds until overtime, and Aqua are in the more dominant position. Second best in a lot of trouble is gonna fall, and Zar trying to get the ball out of the corner. It's gonna be a bit of a struggle on his hand as well, as he is completely stuck over there. Second passing it forward. Is that gonna be enough? It seems like it is. Crying Man just with the wide flank able to get that goal, and with 5 seconds left, it's looking like IX are going to match point. One game away from the grand finals of this qualifier.
Wow, the match point already in. What a way to send that ball all the way across the field just in a matter of seconds. The pass to Cryingman, and then, of course, Cryingman able to shoot that one into the goal. It's actually kind of what we saw from Tribe. And if IX advances to the grand finals, of course, our other grand finalist is going to be either STMN or is going to be Tribe. Are we going to see these two compete head-to-head, right? We saw the similar gameplay from both of them, right? Are, probably on the same level here. Though, great pass there from IX, and though just based off that though, I think that relies on a couple things, right? Of course, a nice flank there by Cryingman to set himself as being open for that goal, but also just maybe a little bit of luck as well, because that did rely heavily on a hole in Aqua's defense right there. It was not really a symmetrical defense there from Aqua. So for the most part, in our last game, it did seem pretty equal, right? That was the goal within the last 15 seconds there. It could have gone into OT. I don't think just by that game right there, we can say that IX is going to win this one. I think we saw good performance from both teams. Aqua, they do stand a chance of getting the reverse sweep here, I think.
Yeah, they certainly do, but, IX... Oh, man, I don't know. I feel like they should be able to close it out. They have 2 match points ahead of them, but we shall see the B pick to change things around a bit around the center area. I feel like that could give a bit of an advantage early on, but once those turrets come in place, it could give the advantage back to the Jesse. Look at that, though. Really big opening for Zar to just navigate through the map. The respawns should be coming through, which is going to keep him away and actually taken out by second. The trade is there, 2-on-1, but Cryingman respawns, and this should be enough rather to just defuse that situation a bit, calm things down, and for IX to concentrate a bit on their next actions.
Yeah, this was interesting actually, because of course we saw Zar over there just trying to get that one into the goal. It looked like there was a big hole in IX's defense. Looks like they were overextended, but they completely weren't. They were able to adapt the situation and double back to get that defense very, very nicely. And though, question is, are we going to see this same situation happen again? We do see Chepo go down. Aqua has a couple of members, 3 members now pushing up to mid here. They have second and Cryingman right next to each other, and they are going to be taking it down second. Cryingman the next to go, if that is going to happen. Chepo also getting positioning, setting a kill on Kang, slash pushing up towards Chepo, trying to get this kill on Chepo, but Chepo is just in a bit of an unreachable position. The question remains, though, who is going to be the one to score the first goal? It's hard to judge just by how the last game went, since it was so equal for the entire game. It will probably go into overtime here, and just as far as overtime goes, IX, they do have a bit of an advantage. They don't have that sprout that relies so much on walls. They're not running the double throwers this time. Cryingman getting positioning up here, needs to be able to juke out Zar. Is it going to happen? The pass, Cryingman able to get that kill and put that one in the goal. 30 seconds remain for Aqua to come back here after a phenomenal goal from Cryingman.
Yeah, what a play from Cryingman. Not the first one we've seen from him today either. Aqua with 15 seconds left, need a miracle at this point, and it's not gonna be happening here. The wall, I mean, it's gonna prevent the 2-0 scoreline, but IX, they don't care. They are just spinning around the enemy side of the map as they know they are going to the grand finals, knocking Aqua out here with a 2-0 sweep.
Wow, and I mean, that is just the struggle of NA, right? Is you have pretty much the top 3 teams that seem to be on pretty much equal skill level. It's STMN, it's Tribe, it's IX, and it is just so hard for a 4th team to break into that top 4 sort of set. Though Aqua, as far as the teams in A go, right? Aqua, I do think they stand the best chance, but the thing is, their debut in the grand finals here in Brawl Masters, it's just not going to be today. Of course, that is IX Gaming headed towards the grand finals, and we're going to be moving right along to our next match, which is going to be none other than Tribe Gaming versus STMN. 2 teams that we've seen go against each other repeatedly, and every single time it is an upset for one side, right? I mean, well, of course, that's how it's always going to go, but it's always such a close match, and this is such an intense rivalry. Of course, these two rosters went up against each other so many times in 2020. It ended up with Tribe going to the World Finals in lieu of STMN. It came down to the October Finals to decide who was going to go to the finals. And this year, Tribe has seemed pretty much untouchable. We have seen STMN prove in Justice last month that Tribe is not absolutely untouchable, taking them down in the monthly finals, but STMN did end up getting taken down by IX. Though, with that doesn't necessarily mean that is the ranking of our top 3 teams. They do seem to be around roughly equal skill, so we should be ready for a very intense and well-matched match upcoming very soon.
Yeah, we have some great stuff ahead of us. The second semifinal, as you can see it on screen right now, Tribe versus STMN. I think you said most of it, right? A very juicy match, a big rivalry. 2 teams with a lot of history competing against each other. I don't know, which team to favor out of this one. I really think that it could go either way. I would say that Tribe overall has been a bit more consistent, but lately we've been seeing them lose a bit more than we used to, and STMN with some better performances as well. As you rightly said, IX with some moment where they really shine too. So this could really go either way. I would say that Tribe is still like arguably a very slight favorite, but it's pretty much as even as it gets, man. It could really, really go either way. Hot Potato to kick things off in Heist, a choice from STMN. Also a map that I think Tribe was avoiding in some of the earlier matches, so seems like they know what they're doing. Super Stadium for set number 2, and then some assembly required in Siege to close things out. Our bans are going to be Bell and Poco on the side of Tribe. Nothing too surprising there. And then Max and Sprout for STMN. Bell, once again, just a go-to ban. Poco, it's typically a bit more of a confidence ban, because you want to remove the mind games, make things a bit more simple, and just, make it a bit less reliant on those comps. I think that Max overall super strong. You talked quite a bit about her earlier as well. I think that it's Sprout that is the most standing out here for me.
Yeah, I mean, Sprout, I don't exactly know where you play him. Perhaps on some assembly, perhaps on Super Stadium, not on Hot Potato. Perhaps, I mean, of course, we are talking about some of the top teams in NA, and undoubtedly they have scrimmed against each other, and they've been scrimming against a bunch of other people. And these guys, they like to keep their secrets, because part of your comp choice, right? It's not just, okay, this is a good set of brawlers, right? It's about subverting your enemy's expectations and bringing out something that they are not prepared for, right? And so, they do like to keep their secrets. If Sprout is the key to victory on Hot Potato, I guess, well, today is not the day that we will be learning that, since, of course, Sprout is banned. Though, yeah, it is a bit of an unexpected one. We do see STMN banning Sprout. I mean, you said usually Poco is a confidence ban. I think Sprout might be a targeted ban towards Corey, who, as far as the team dynamic for Tribe goes, right, it's pretty well known, right, that Corey is sort of the ring leader. And he's the one who coordinates most of the things on the team. If you ever see an interview with the team, Corey is the one who does most of the talking, right? I think just like by nature, Corey is like the leader type. And so to kind of already start to try and break down that hierarchy and that leadership, that central command that we usually, that of course we see from Tribe Gaming, that is just a piece of the puzzle that STMN is doing here to target Tribe.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've seen a lot of more map-centric approaches for the bans. This is directly targeted at Corey, as you rightly said, despite it not being the strongest brawler on any of the maps we have in front of us, which is super interesting to me. I think it does show that STMN are confident on a lot of brawlers, and they're ready for anything that Tribe throws at them. They just kind of want to remove that comfort pick from Tribe onto Corey. And as you said, he is one of the players that, is the most important for the strategies and the communication and all that stuff of the team. And making him play on brawlers he's maybe a bit less comfortable on could make that collapse a bit as well.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is, right? I mean, the other brawlers that are getting banned out here, of course, Max, right? That one's a clear ban. Like it's pretty obvious why you'd ban Max. No other targeted bans necessarily. Perhaps, I mean, Tribe banning the Poco here. You said a confidence ban. I think it's also a targeted ban, right? Because we do see Bobby going for world record Poco, right? And I think perhaps those last two bans were a bit personal in nature there. Though, I mean, I think this is going to be a good, clean match. We're just waiting for our players to get ready. Hot Potato coming up soon. I think Hot Potato, what we can expect here, we can expect the Rico, right? We have some really talented Rico players on both sides of this match. Though I do think we could also see more of a base race comp. We've seen it a bit on Hot Potato, right? That is, you see the Poco ban because you don't want to play the mind games, okay? But the base race is a bit of a mind game here. It's still this strange comp that is so hard to counter, right? Or, well, not necessarily hard to counter, right? But it's hard to counter if you're playing something traditional. And it does kind of walk all over your normal comp. So there are the mind games. They're still in there. And it cannot be clear that both of these teams are trying to play some mind games with some personalized bans.
Yeah, for sure. You want to make sure that, those bans are kind of like custom tailored to your opponents and what they like, so you can have the most impactful bans. Because when you ban a brawler, it's going to be banned on both sides. If you can hurt your opponents more with your ban, it's obviously going to give you much more value. The tick here is an interesting decision on OG. Going to be fighting against the Barley on the right hand side. Raz taking quite a bit of damage. Tuni is able to take him down and get some nice damage on the save. So far, a pretty solid start from Tribe Gaming. Bobby just looking to stay alive and deal some more damage there as well. Already a roughly 40% lead in favor of STMN, although we do have a push coming in here from Tribe as they are able to take back that lead.
Yep, and now looking roughly equal between these two teams. Of course, we saw a great push from STMN to start things off, but the same thing and now coming out from Tribe. The main difference is that Tyrant is not leaving this safe. Tuni trying to get this defense. Tyrant, though, is just not leaving, dodging all these shots. Raz now getting a clean 13% on that safe. 14% remains. Now even less. Just 3,000, 2,500 damage left on the safe. A Colette Super will seal STMN's fate here, though. Tribe, they are not quitting it just yet. The double throwers are going to be looking for control here. Tuni has to be able to push up mid, but he is outranged here by Tyrant, who is flexing on the mid rather than going for the right lane fight. Raz is now ready with that super, and the power-up is going to go to Tyrant as Tribe pushes up more and more and more. Zulon looking to go down. Raz with that final bit of damage. That is going to be game number 1 going to Tribe Gaming.
Good stuff from Tribe. They are able to close this first one out despite STMN having a really strong start early on. We'll see if they decide to go for the same stuff in game 2. I do feel like the tick was a bit limiting on the side of STMN. Just struggled a bit, when there was so much stuff heading his way. A brawler that is quite like stale in general. So I'm expecting that maybe to change around. I think that the Colette matchup, like Colette is one of the best brawlers on this map in the center because it's so good for those 1v1s, but also so good for the chip damage on the safe. Trying to combine it with some, an enemy brawler walking by and just getting his next super, her next super ready pretty much from the get-go. So I really like that. I think that, the Ruffs was struggling a little bit as well, to be completely honest. And that the comp in general was a bit stronger on the side of Tribe Gaming. So we'll see if they're looking to even things out a bit more here. STMN go for the mirror matchup. Maybe Tribe have some more surprises for us, or STMN are going to go for a wildly different comp or play the same. Could be possible too. It wasn't like a super one-sided game either. It could be the execution that just didn't really go as planned on the side of STMN.
Yeah, I think the Colonel Russ was a good pick there, right? We were able to power up Tyrant, Zulon, right, as whoever we wanted to power up and get loads of damage on the safe. From Tribe, we saw 2 brawlers that were able to do substantial damage to the safe, and just having the Colonel Ruffs as an accessory to those, I think, was really the move there. So do expect that going into our next game. here. Though I do think, right, that I agree with you on the whole Tick thing, right? I think Tick was kind of holding back STM in there, right? And the main area that we saw Tick struggle was there against, I believe it was Tyrant on the Barley. Tyrant was just in a strong position, very close to the safe, in a position where he couldn't really get hit by direct shots, and you know, was behind cover. But at the same time, right, the main guy that was going to be able to take him out was, of course, Tick. The thing is, it's not a choke point. Tick is really good at controlling those choke points, but when there are pretty much 3 separate ways that you can go, it is hard to control an area. So, getting into this next game, it's game number 2 here, Tribe versus STMN in
Tuni pushing up is able to find the early lead. He should get taken out there by Razwil, indeed, but OG is able to find the trade, and so far that is going to give an early damage lead to STMN. They pick up the kill onto Tyrant as well. Tick Head connecting is always so nice because it does help him get closer to his next Tick Head being available. He's getting some nice damage down overall. OG does have his super ready once more. Tuni has another super too, but look at that value there from Raz. Is able to find so much of that super. The next super available too. He might be going down there. Is gonna use it and go down immediately, but it is a very small lead in favor of Tribe Gaming, although STMN, they're the ones on the offensive now.
Yep, now Tribe having to go on defense. Loads of damage coming in from STMN. Tuni getting a nice hit on that safe. The power-up also coming in on the safe for Raz. Tribe Gaming, they are not throwing in the towel just yet. They are planning on getting Raz on this safe, but first he's going to have to win this lane matchup against Tuni. Here comes the kill. Okay, I almost thought I spoke too soon. Tuni not gonna get that kill on Raz right there. Another power up, and Raz is going to get substantial damage on this safe. Loads of damage coming in, and Tuni trying to get this kill here, but getting it denied. Raz getting even more damage. Tribe all over this safe, getting loads of damage. That is set number 1 decisively going in Tribe's favor.
Good stuff from Tribe. They pick up set number 1. And indeed, in quite a convincing way. Like, both games weren't like super one-sided, but they were both like very much in control of Tribe. They were deciding the pace, they were deciding what was going on, and fully on control of that match so far. BrawlMSTRS is going to be some Super Stadium action again, a chance for STMN to get back into the mix. But when you think about it, this first set here, that was the pick from STMN, and they got pretty much just swept on it. So BrawlMSTRS, can they pull it off? It is the choice from Tribe Gaming to be playing that in set 2. So definitely a challenge ahead of STMN in this scenario.
Yeah, and we are going to be moving into the set that actually was the pick of Tribe, and this is one that they were looking very strong on. In fact, just earlier we did see a Tribe getting that really nice pass down the entire field just to finish things off. I think, just judging by what we've seen today, Tribe, they are looking very good going into this one, but STMN, right, they don't have the home field advantage. They did choose Heist to start things off, and it did not turn in their favor. I think they could have chosen Brawl Ball, right, to you know, start things off strong, because it is one of their more comfortable modes, though unfortunately that is just not the case today. Tribe looking good with the momentum headed into set number 2 to just continue this grudge match between STMN and Tribe.
Yeah, a challenge ahead of STMN. Tribe, honestly, everything is lining up in the perfect way for them, right? They win in a very convincing way, the pick from STMN. Now we are going to their home territory where they want to be playing, and STMN, it's going to be a big challenge for them. They need to perform, and they need to perform big. Tuni seems to be having some problems early on, does get dealt with. I always think it's so terrifying when someone is AFK and then just comes back to the fight out of nowhere, and they're like, so, like, you know, the contrast is so big, and it always catches me off guard. But enough about my PTSD. This is the opportunity for Tribe to get a strong push early on. The shot doesn't go all the way into the net, and STMN are able to defend off, but the pull from Zulan is going to be a one-on-one trade, and things are still quite even right now, although some of the map has been destroyed already on the side of STMN.
Yep, looking good so far. Tribe Gaming now on the back foot as they have to fall back, but that does not mean they're not prepared for this assault. Raz on the Rosa making a huge amount of destruction. Tribe able to secure this first goal with a massive push there. Here's the thing, is that STMN, they are not equipped with anyone that can stun. Of course, what a pull there, actually, by Zulon. Just said, get over here, and pulled all the way across the field. An excellent play right there. Tribe now advancing further up the field as they have managed to push STMN in sort of a singularity, a concentrated location. Tyrant not going to get taken down by Bobby quite yet. Zulon also looking for his next victim. Raz getting very, very close over here. Not able to get that kill on the bear just yet, and I take back what I said previously. Toonie is actually running Bear Paws this game, not running the traditional faux fur. Zulon trying to get this. He does get the stun, and Toonie is not able to put this one into the goal. Well played there from Toonie, but the stun is just too much to contend with here. The only stun, though, coming out from STMN this time is, of course, the Bear Paws, and that is going to be their main ticket to defense here if Raz gets too close to the goal. Here comes the healing, and Raz still taking even more damage. Fortunately, that heal is going to be enough. Zulon getting a nice pull in combination with Raz, and Tribe is going to be keeping control here, looking actually very good for Tribe. They won both games in set number 1, and they do stand a very good chance of taking this game back in just a few seconds here. Yep, there is no hope for STMN in the remainder of this game. That's going to be this game going to Tribe Gaming, and they will be taking us to match point in just 4 games.
Yeah, this has been impressive so far. Everything is just going the way of Tribe. You know, I said earlier they are very slight favorites, but you know, this is more if you look in the longer run, they've won way more times against the STMN, but lately, even going all the way just to yesterday, it was STMN that won against Tribe. So I'm struggling a bit, but STMN, I feel like they still do stand a chance to go for the full-on reverse sweep, but we need the performance of their careers if they want to make that happen, because Tribe, they only need 1 game in this set to close things out and send STMN home.
Yep, that is all it's going to take from Tribe, and you already know that STMN, they did not choose Brawl Ball as their first set, so they were probably feeling much more confident on high stuff. I mean, I've already said this, but it is looking pretty grim. As far as momentum goes, Tribe is just on fire right now. STMN, they got to dig deep, and this is something that they have done historically, is dig really deep and pull out something very clutch. So I would not count it out completely, though. Tribe is looking vastly favored headed into our potential final match. Of course, it is the match point. If not, we are going to be headed into our 3rd game and then potentially into Siege for set number 3, though I don't know how likely that is going to be. For whatever reason, it does seem like it's either a complete sweep or it's a very close match that goes down to the very bitter last game. We do see some change-ups in comps this time headed into our match point. Tribe favorite here. They're running the same comp as last time. STMN this time running OG here on Colonel Ruffs. Bobby staying on that Barley. Toonie now switching over to the Rosa.
Yeah, good push coming in there from STMN. They're able to find quite a bit of value and a chance to push forward. Raz is going to pop his super, and a great movement from STMN to just find more value off that encounter. Toonie is going to be quite low HP. Might still win against Raz, though. Yup, his super was timed out a bit better, and that's going to give him the advantage. Zulon does have the pull available. Going to connect it onto Toonie. Picks up the kill as well. And he's only about like a full shot away from his next pull now. This is a great position for Tribe Gaming to close things out. Zulon just needs some slight tags. Here we go. That's going to be the pull available. The HP is so low. Toonie doesn't quite get pulled by Zulon, though. I feel like they could have closed this one out already. Now it's going to be a bit more challenging. And yeah, they have to slow things down. STMN was a successful defense, but oh my, that was a close one.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to see it from OG once again. Is prime defense. Raz baits out that super. The ball does get passed backwards, but is it going to be adequate for the defense? A nice play there. Wow! Tyrant almost getting that one in the goal, and Bobby coming in with the clutch to shove that ball out of the goal. It seems that STMN's only defense against Raz walking into their goal with that super is going to be OG with the power-up. And it happened once, and it was successful on that defense against Raz, but it did get baited out twice on that second push. Raz now trying to get this ball out. OG looking for this kill on Raz. It's not going to happen. Toonie now going for the kill on Raz. Bobby also getting taken down. Toonie once again faced up against Tyrant and Zulon for this defense. Toonie going completely idle. We did see him unfortunately lagging a little bit in the previous game. Hopefully for STMN that doesn't happen this time. Tyrant now laying down the super. A massive pull there. Zulon yanking Bobby all the way across the field. Definitely the best target that Zulon could have found on that pull. OG trying to get the stun, trying to get the kill on Raz. The pass, Zulon able to put this one into the goal, and that is going to be this match going to Tribe Gaming in a clean sweep. All 4 games going to Tribe Gaming, and they will be heading into the grand finals. Though, just because Tribe finally managed to triumph after STMN after 2 or 3 weeks in a bit of a competitive rut, that does not mean that that is the end to this rivalry, nor is it the end of this tournament. We're going to see Tribe and IX going head-to-head in the grand finals coming up very soon.
Yeah, this is quite a story once again, right? This rivalry has been going on for the longest time, and it does seem like Tribe are gonna get the better word at the end of this match. They are moving on to the grand finals. That means that they will be facing IX Gaming, 2 teams that also have had some history of things going either way. So super excited about that one, and I think we are in for a treat here for the grand finals.
Yep, take a look at our bracket powered by G Fuel. We have seen so many amazing games today. Let's follow the path of our 2 grand finalists for today. Tribe Gaming, they started their journey versus Tyler Throws Games, then they moved on to face Destiny Esports, then of course STMN, they are headed on to the grand finals. Then IX Gaming faced off against Star Gaming in the round of 16, then faced off against IX Academy, and that one was a spectacle to behold. Then on to Aqua, and then with that victory, they are headed into the grand finals. Tribe versus IX Gaming. Cannot wait to see what these teams have to bring out today.
Yeah, I think we are in for a treat. We've had some amazing matches already, but the grand finals are definitely here to top all of that off. Guys, we are heading for a quick break. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.
Welcome back, everyone, to Brawl Masters. We are here in the grand finals with a true spectacle to behold. It is going to be Tribe Gaming versus IX Gaming, and this is a match that we have been wanting to see for a while. It just seems like IX Gaming manages to end up on the other side of the bracket most times, and this time we finally get to see this matchup of Tribe versus IX. I'm super excited for this one. Of course, we are looking at some long reigning champions of NA versus our monthly finals champions from last month here in NA. And Teddy, I think we are in for a real treat headed into this match.
Yeah, for sure. This is actually the same grand finals as last week's first qualifiers. It was Tribe to reign supreme in the end, but it could be a different story now. It is different maps, different modes and strategies available here for those teams. We will see what they decide to go for. So far, Bounty and Hot Zone are banned by Tribe, banned for Siege on the side of IX, which means they will get the first pick as well. It's gonna be Gem Grab on Minecart Madness. Interesting decision. We saw them struggle on that one against IX Academy earlier. Maybe they just had a bit of a pep talk and just like strategize and try to see, you know, what went wrong. But they seem prepared for this one. Super Stadium on Brawl is going to be the pick from Tribe Gaming, and then the decider will be Hot Potato and Heist. Proceeding to the brawler bands, we start off with Poco. An interesting decision, but to be honest, I like it. You know, I always like the Poco band. Just simplify the game a little bit, remove some of the strategical elements, and I feel like Poco is definitely a solid way to do that. What do you think IX should answer to that?
I mean, you know, we have the Poco ban, right? I think IX, right, a good response for them would be perhaps a Sprout ban, right? Yep. I mean, we do usually see some of the, like, Bell ban or something like that, right, as a second ban. IX, they have 2 bans in a row, so they do get to determine things. They do need to worry about what tribe actually is going to ban as the last one, so they don't necessarily get to have the last laugh if the brawler that they want banned is not the one that gets banned. They don't have the last say, so we'll have to see what IX ends up banning. They do ban Max and Barley. Okay, so now it's down to Tribe to decide, okay, is this going to be a match where we play Bell for the entire time, or do we just kind of suck it up and we now just decide that we want a different brawler banned, right? Do we just stick with what we wanted banned and then ban Bell as one of our bans? It's going to be an interesting one for sure. Yep, and Tribe Gaming is going to be opting to ban Bell. That is definitely, you know, an unfortunate one. Tribe definitely would have preferred to ban something besides Bell, because Bell is pretty much a go-to, so you would rather not choose Bell given the opportunity. So I think, you know, nice mind games there actually from IX Gaming, making Tribe not ban the brawler that they want to be able to ban. IX showing that, okay, well, we didn't get to, you know, choose the first 2 modes to ban. We didn't get to choose the first brawler to be banned, but we do pretty much get to choose what the third ban is going to be, right? IX Gaming really deciding, you know, how the game is going to be played. It's going to be played on IX's terms, at least going into our first set, which is the game that they wanted to play. Minecart Madness to start things off, which is what we saw is the choice from IX Academy, right? But now seeing the main IX team choose it is a real funny one, I think.
Yeah, I think that overall this is pretty good for IX, right? They're playing the map they want first, and it seems like they are a bit superior from that banning process. Just because Bell is kind of a default ban, and it was Tribe that was pretty much forced to go for it. Poco, same story here. I feel like IX, they probably didn't really want to face a Poco either. So I think that the banning process really started for IX because they have a bit more impact on their decisions, just because the decisions from Tribe are a lot less targeted and a lot more vague. So yeah, no Max, no Barley. Definitely an interesting choice as well. I was expecting a Sprout ban perhaps as well, especially with Minecart Madness on the first game. So maybe we can expect some Sprout action there from Corey. I mean, the thing with the Sprout ban is that it is like decent everywhere here, but it's not like insanely strong anywhere either. So I guess that is also their perspective. And despite Corey being an excellent Sprout, I think that maybe they're just, you know, ready for it. Maybe they just expect him to be playing the Sprout and they're ready to deal with whatever they come up with comp-wise. So A curious decision, but I feel like there's probably some sort of a reasoning behind it that we will just, figure out as we start to see those comps. You have to keep in mind, sure, those teams don't compete every day in like official tournaments, but they do scrim all the time and they know each other inside out. So we will find out how that works in a couple of minutes already.
Yeah, and while we're waiting for our teams to get ready, I think we talked about the Sprout ban, right? And that's an interesting one. We're going to see both the Sprout from Corey pretty much as go-to, but IX, they do have a pretty strong Sprout of their own. They do have a Second who's been playing a lot more Sprout recently, it would seem. So with the Max ban, which is, pretty much Second's character, I guess you could say, Sprout, is perhaps the replacement, and we've seen amazing plays actually from Second on the Sprout, so I think maybe it is in their best interest to keep the Sprout in play. It seems like previously they were keeping the Max in play for the sake of Second, right, wanting to play that character, of course, also a very strong brawler in the game. But now they're keeping Sprout in the game just for that sake. Interesting that we see a Tyrant now. No Corey in this game. It has not been, well, I guess any Corey today. It's been Raz filling in as the third. Tyrant switching onto this Sprout, and we do see Second, of course, on that Sprout. Crying Man naturally on the Colonel Ruffs, and Chepo on the Byron.
Yeah, I think that the Sprout not being banned just makes a whole lot more sense now, right? Like, they see that in the lobby there's no Corey, then probably just don't ban Sprout. I think that makes a lot of sense. Crying Man surviving with 7 HP on the top right side. Gem-wise, it is all tied up so far. Zulan gonna overextend a bit to get the advantage, and will be TPing back to safety. A lot of utility to work with here on the side of Tribe Gaming, with the movement speed booster as well from Raz. Chapo was a good super, could find some nice value, but they're not really staying anywhere close to that, and he's going to use it for the 1v1. Will win it against Raz. Never mind, it's going to be a trade as they both take each other out. Second might be getting pinched there. He's quite low HP, but he's able to survive a couple of missed shots from Tyrant. Ooh. And now we are once again going to be all tied up. 6 gems on both sides. A bit more control maybe in favor of Tribe right now, because of that wall blocking off the center of the map. But the next gem is spawning on the side of IX, but so is the minecart, and this is where it could get a bit more dangerous. Crying Man has nowhere to go to. Tyrant takes him out. Second taking a bit of damage from afar. Zulan will be quite low HP as well, but they only need 2 more gems to get that countdown started here, Tribe.
Yep, IX Gaming. Actually. Oof, and yep, that is going to be the countdown starting for Tribe. IX, they have a lot of room to push up. Tyrant now getting the defensive super to prevent IX from being adequately able to push in, but 1 kill is all it's going to take. IX is going to actually be tying up this match. They just got to pick up a couple gems to reset things, and there it is, the 10-10 magic number. It has gotten so close. Second is actually forced to retreat here. Chepo needs to pick up 1 more gem here to start that countdown, but he just doesn't want to pick it up, would rather win this mid-fight first. Here comes the minecart, but it's not going to provide that much room. Here comes Raz with some great plays, getting taken out, but does manage to get the kill. And that is going to be IX Gaming, unfortunately, going down here. Is IX going to be able to take this one back, though? Zulan now just so far in the backline. There's no way for IX to take back this game right here. That is going to be game number 1. And set number 1 going to Tribe Gaming.
Yeah, good stuff from Tribe, particularly Zulan, star player as well. But overall, he found so much value, and the fact that he still had a spare TP at the end, like he didn't even need to pop it. It just he was just there like look at that. I didn't even need to use everything I had in stock to win this game. Good stuff on their end, and he particularly shined on that 8-bit, finding a ton of value, helping out his teammates' lanes as well. Minecart Madness is a map that is quite open if you don't take the minecarts into consideration. And it just gives you a lot of angles on that 8-bit in the center to help on the left, on the right, in the center, and constantly be able to provide some sort of value to your team. I think this is something that people are getting more and more aware of as well, is that, even if you have control, if you don't have any angles on your opponents, you're full ammo and losing some value, not getting closer to getting near next super and all that kind of stuff. And Zulan was just able to constantly be one step ahead because he would always have an angle on either the Byron on the left side or the Sprout or the Ruffs, and just constantly provide some sort of value getting closer to the next super, making sure he always had one damage booster down. And yeah, I think that overall gave a big advantage to Tribe, combined with, you know, the great teamwork and the great pinches on the lanes as well.
Yeah, huge advantage there. We're going to see some comp changes, perhaps, or just some strat changes going into our next game. I think, you know, Minecart Madness is an interesting one, right? Because you do have a little bit of an element of RNG. The minecarts are at regular intervals, so they are, like, predictable, but it's not really useful, the fact that you can predict them. We do see the comp change coming out from Tribe. IX also with the comp change, Crying Man now on this Crow. Second sticking actually on the Sprout, and we also do see the 8-bit coming out from IX. Chepo over here on the right lane versus Raz. It could be actually a tough one for the 8-bit versus Tick, just because Tick is able to take out that turret with relative ease. Chepo struggling to find this angle. IX and Tribe, though, just able to find the same amount of gems. It's looking like a very even game here so far. The gems are evenly split across the middle. Second looking to find this positioning. Wow, actually a great play pushing back Zulan. Unfortunately, Second, it does go down as a result of that aggression pushing up there. Raz also on low health. Tyrant just trying to get a similarly aggressive wall there. Going to be blocking off Second, but not too much of a detriment there for Second, as he's able to hide behind this wall and take cover from Zulan. So things are looking in Tribe's favor. Zulan here at mid collecting all sorts of gems. IX Gaming not really able to push out here. Raz also keeping control on this left lane. Chepo has been just struggling on this lane so much versus a brawler that outranges him, and one that he not outrun or dodge on these shots. It's just a choke point over here on the left side. Chepo barely managing to make it out of there with the teleport. We do see it, Zulan making it back here at Second, getting very aggressive, not able to really capitalize on that. Chepo also trying to go forward. Looks like that is going to be game number 2, and therefore set number 1 going to Tribe Gaming.
Good stuff from Tribe. Convincing game so far. This was even more convincing than the first one, wasn't it? Like the first one, we had some ties, we had some nice middle retakes. Here it was just Tribe in control, and then more Tribe in control, and then Tribe was the countdown, and then Tribe was the win. Just textbook stuff from Tribe Gaming, able to close this set out in a convincing way as well. And once again, this is the mode pick from IX Gaming. This was supposed to be, you know, the surprise and the X factor to kick things off in a great way on their end. It does seem like it's Tribe to take this one home, and now we are going to be going to Brawl Ball on Super Stadium. We saw how strong Tribe were on this map earlier in multiple matches already, absolutely dominating through the stadium, and I'm expecting a bit more of the same, to be honest. I think that IX are really solid in Brawl Ball, don't get me wrong, but this is the decision from Tribe, and they already look so convincing on the map pick from IX Gaming.
Yep, I mean, we've seen this pattern similarly, right? The team that ends up taking the win is the one who ends up winning, actually, the set that they were not picking it to win, right? In Tribe, they played Minecart Madness very, very well, and that was the one that IX picked to go first. I mean, the thing is, though, the sets that they had to choose from, right? IX Gaming could have chosen a different mode to go first. And if among a Brawl Ball and Heist and Gem Grab, Minecart Madness was their most confident pick, that is a little bit worrying heading into set number 2. It does seem to be in Tribe's favor. Of course, we have seen great plays from IX on Brawl Ball. These are two teams that are really, really talented on Brawl Ball, though Tribe Gaming, just from a meta perspective, does seem to be the favored outcome in this second set.
Yeah, I agree. We'll find out. I mean, IX, they need it, right? If they want to go through with this one and win the finals. We have to keep in mind, this is the same matchup as we had in week 1 of the qualifiers. And so far, the same results as well, with Tribe taking the win. Tribe, they can just double down on that lead and get some more points, get more of a point lead, go all the way to 30 points, and start off things with 2 qualifiers in the bag. IX, if they would win this one, they would actually tie things up, and we would have 27 points on both sides. So I wouldn't say there's a lot on the line. IX, just from going to the grand finals twice in a row, they are able to secure a minimum of 24 points, which is going to keep them in top 2. But it does mean that they need a strong performance in the next qualifier as well. Whereas if they were to win this one, then they're a lot more comfortable. They can afford to go out a bit earlier next week in case something goes wrong. And that extra buffer is just some extra safety, right? You just don't want to be down to the wire. You don't want to be in a tough situation where you need to win to go through to the playoffs. And that's kind of what is on the line here for both teams, to be honest. Either a bit of a more comfortable lead in points, or a situation that could be caught up and where they aren't 100% sure yet that they will be going to those playoffs.
Yeah, that is absolutely true, and it is a little bit unfortunate not everyone gets to qualify, though it does seem that the most adaptable teams are going to be the one who end up on top. We are finally going to be getting into Brawl Ball here. Take a look at our comps as well. Raz coming out with the Stu. No Stu actually from IX Gaming, and this could be a mistake, though they are bringing out the Mr. P. Chepo getting swiftly taken out, as well as his Porter soon to follow. Now we do see, wow, Second not going to be able to get this pull. Zulan beating him to the punch, and Raz already coming through with this goal. That's going to be the first goal of the game, going to Tribe.
Yeah, only 35 seconds. That's all it took for them to kick things off with the lead. We have a bit of a push once again for Tribe. They can't quite pick up the kill on Crying Man, but as I say that, Raz just gets it a second after. 2 kills. Now Raz with the triple kill for Tribe Gaming, and the follow-up goal. Tribe Gaming, they take this game, and now it's already match point for Tribe Gaming. Only need one more win to just win their second qualifier.
This is insane, right? Raz doing a phenomenal job. Just to name one player on Tribe Gaming, they've already taken this one a match point in a complete clean sweep. And this is kind of what we saw actually from IX in the last monthly finals. We saw Tribe and we saw STMN face each other in the semifinals, and then it came to the grand finals, IX versus STMN, and IX completely blew STMN out of the water, right, with a clean sweep. Now Tribe doing the exact same thing to IX Gaming, bringing this one to match point in a sweep, and this is not really what we expected. We saw a much closer match actually between Tribe and STMN in the semi-finals. So this perhaps is this did Tribe just prepare better for the final match? Did they not expect to be on the same side of the bracket as STMN? And what is going through IX Gaming's head right now? A lot of questions that we can't answer, but we can get a close approximation, right? IX Gaming, they are definitely sweating right now because they are just one game away from being taken down. Though both of these teams do have a substantial number of points, they it looks like we'll definitely be going to the qualifiers, but that's not to detract from the money to be won here today. It's a $1,000 prize that they are competing for, and Tribe Gaming is just one game away.
Yeah, we are ready to hop in as well. The M's could be a nice X factor to slow things down a bit on those pushes. The B is also interesting in the center. Similar comp than the previous one here for Tribe, though. They are going to be pushing up some nice tanks across the board in favor of Tribe. Zulan gonna pass it forward. A good position for Tyrant to apply a lot of pressure, a lot of damage as well. Crying Man falls to Zulan. Chepo quite low HP as well. This is a nice situation and what looks to be the goal as well. Tribe Gaming are up 1-0, and not a goal or just surviving for 1 minute and 45 seconds would be enough to take this qualifier home.
Wow, Tribe Gaming just one goal away. Is this going to be it? No, Raz not going to bite at this opportunity. Crying Man going to go down in a nice pinch. Chepo also going to fall as well. It's the $1,000 goal, and Tyrant is not going to put it in right away. Yup, taking that victory lap right there. Tribe Gaming once again ascending to the top of NA here, at least in Brawl Masters. Amazing gameplay from both of these teams today, but this match does go the way of Tribe Gaming in a complete sweep. 4 wins in a row for that $1,000 prize. Congratulations, Tribe Gaming. Congratulations, IX, similarly, but they will be taking home second place today, and Tribe will be taking away our Grand Champion title here in our second qualifier here in NA.
Man, great stuff from Tribe Gaming, able to not only sweep IX, but also STMN earlier. Like, they did not have an easy bracket, and they still managed to power their way through it super convincingly. This is the Tribe, you know, I expect from like last year, from the end of last year, where they were just absolutely unbeatable. And it seems like today, at least, it's a bit of that Tribe Gaming that we had lost for the last couple of weeks. Who knows if it's just a one-day thing, or if they're here to keep that amazing performance up for the upcoming month and more. They certainly looked insanely strong today, and they were able to just shine, you know, individually with some beautiful plays. I'm thinking of Raz on that Stu earlier. That was absolutely beautiful. But also just teamwork wise, they just didn't really seem too challenged today. Like, honestly, whatever anyone was throwing at them, they seemed prepared, or when they weren't, they were able to adapt super quickly and make it work anyways.
Yep, and we do have the bracket coming up so we can get a final overview of our tournament today. It's the NA Open Qualifier 2 finally coming to a close, and thank you to our sponsor, G Fuel. Take a look at our journey that Tribe Gaming took today to ascend to the champion title. Tribe, they first faced off against Tyler Throws Games, then versus Destiny, then versus STMN, and then finally onto their match with IX. And look, they managed to get a clean sweep along the entire way. In fact, we only saw one match that was not a clean sweep, and that are actually 2 in the quarterfinals on the right side of the bracket between IX Gaming and Aqua versus Gold Bullet. So congratulations to our grand champions. We are going to also get a chance to look at the leaderboard. Take a look at our points. Tribe leading with 30 points. And look at the teams that are all tied with 6 points. We even have more teams that are tied with 6 points. 4 teams that are not on the bracket because they are all tied with 6 points. Though these teams, they are staying in the running. All good teams that do stand a chance of moving up to the playoffs, but for now it seems to be Tribe Gaming, IX Gaming, Aqua, and STMN. Aqua and STMN, interestingly, tied here for 3rd and 4th place, but Tribe Gaming and IX could be clear from the grand finals today, are in the top 2 here in Brawl Masters.
Yeah, with 30 points, Tribe Gaming is already pretty much qualified as well for the playoffs. I think that technically, with some sort of a miracle like circumstances, it could be possible that they don't quite make it, but it's pretty much already set in stone. On the other hand, for the other 3 teams in the top 4, it could really go either way. I think that technically the teams with 6 points, and I think we have 8 of them, they all stand a chance still as well. But once again, you need some sort of a miracle run where they end up winning the entire thing, and none of the other teams in the top 3 go to like the top 8. So it doesn't seem likely, but it is possible, and we got quite a competitive situation ahead of us for our 3rd qualifier.
Yep, and that is actually going to do it for us today. Congratulations, of course, to Tribe Gaming, our grand champions in our 2nd qualifier here in NA. This has been Brawl Masters NA, but we're not finished yet. We do want to thank, of course, G Fuel for sponsoring. It could not be possible. Of course, our amazing bracket, it would not be there without G Fuel. It runs on G Fuel. It's powered by G Fuel. And I think we do prominently feature that text right there just to make it clear that it would not be possible. So thank you to them. And also, just make sure that you follow Brawl Masters on social media so you can keep up to date. There's also going to be a replay of our play of the day that's going to be posted to the Brawl Masters socials, so you won't want to miss it. You can check out our Discord. It's at discord.gg/BrawlMasters. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter at BrawlMasters. Make sure you don't miss any updates from Brawl Masters. You won't want to miss it. But I think with that sums up Brawl Masters, our 2nd qualifier for the day. Teddy, do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, well, big thank you to our players, to you guys watching at home, and also to the production team for doing an excellent job throughout the two first qualifiers. With that being said, I think that's all from us, and we will see you guys in the next qualifiers.